Greetings, weary travelers, come, warm yourself by the fire, and let us regale you with mighty tales, tales of adventure, tales of heroism, and of course, tales of Tamriel. I'm your host, Arkaniir, and as always, I'm joined by two of our amazing co-hosts, starting with the man, the myth, the legend himself, LotusOfDoom. How's it going, Lotus?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well as well. And also joining us, the joy of the show, the giggle queen herself, HyperPixie. How's it going, Pixie?
Going great.
I would hope so, since you finally got your fridge and we can leave all that behind us for the show.
Thank God. I'm pretty sure Derek is happy too.
So yeah, this week...
He heard the show. He knew there were threats.
That's what it was, of course.
This week, we return to Elder Scrolls and we leave the 40-minute fridge rant behind us with a happy ending. So, rejoice everybody. But mostly
It's a lovely fridge. I'm happy with it.
I'm glad your fridge is better than mine.
So you said your fridge was fine until a year, so I'm still nervous, but for right now, I'm greatly enjoying my new fridge.
Maybe it'll be an episode 300 spectacular or something like that.
There we go, yeah. Yeah, that's something to look forward to for the 300 milestone.
Yeah, exactly.
For everyone listening and enjoying the struggles. Not for Pixie, but yeah, you get the idea.
You guys will get a fridge update in episode 300. Let's just cross our fingers that my fridge still works. Or
Perfect.
I might have a conniption fit on Tails again.
Right, so we got quite a bit of Elder Scrolls stuff to talk about this week. So we are only 2 days away from the global reveal event of the new chapter, Gates of Oblivion, which was supposed to be on 21st, but because of the word that I forgot on United States, the something day, it got pushed back to 26th. I really hoped one of you would pitch in with the actual word there, but you
Inauguration.
didn't. There you go. Thank you. That thing.
I was late, but I didn't look at the show notes, so I didn't see that you were missing a word, but it's the inauguration.
Well, it's not
day.
in the show notes. I'm generally just winging this, as you know.
Oh, well, there we go.
No, everything's organized all the time. You're breaking the fourth wall illusion here.
Yeah. So, because of the day that Pixie just said, I don't know how to pronounce it properly, so I'll just skip it. It was pushed back to 26th, and I believe it makes sense both from a safety perspective and congratulations to every friend in United States on an uneventful day.
Yeah.
Inauguration day.
Inauguration, is that's the word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just say
nice
inauguration.
that we didn't need to have another disaster, regardless of
Yeah.
your affiliation with anything, because I have no interest in making this political. Just, not having a giant embarrassment as a country is always great.
Nobody died. Yay.
Yes.
So there were concerns of both safety, because apparently a lot of the ZeniMax Online employees are in the area, and it did make sense from a marketing perspective as well, because something as big as that was bound to take over social media and every platform that you would normally market a new chapter of a game, a new expansion of a game. So it did make sense to just push it back a few days, let the social media clear, and then do the marketing event that you were going to do.
Yeah.
So, 2 days away, that's Monday? I'm trying to think in terms...
Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday. Okay, I am
believe it's
in
Tuesday,
24th,
yeah.
but the America
Yep.
is not. Yeah, you're still in 23rd, so that makes sense.
Yep.
So it's gonna be on
Time
Tuesday.
traveler.
We are gonna talk about the detailed schedule when we get to the news. We also have a couple of things we want to discuss this week. Mainly, what are we expecting from the Gates of Oblivion? So sort of do our final theories and expectations kind of thing, and see if it all pans out, and maybe, if we can get the scheduling right, maybe record a midweek show after the global reveal event, right on topic. So we'll see how that goes. Before we get into all that, though, we have 2 new 5-star reviews on iTunes that I want to read out. because we said we do those. So this is from Warmonger17, which we know, Warmonger. Awesome podcast show is the title. Hey guys, I've been listening to you guys for a while now and just want to say awesome show, keep up the great work, love listening while at work. Thank you so much for the 5-star War, and it really makes me happy that people listen to this at work because it sort of justifies doing this as long as we do, so several hours shows. We did try to drop it down to like a 1 hour limit at some point, and everyone was like, hey, I listened to this at work. I like that it's 7 hours shows. And we were like, you know what? We won't try to limit it anymore and just record as long as it goes.
That's why you have a 30-minute rant about a refrigerator at the end of
that. Is true.
Exactly.
That is true.
No, I was surprised, like, the amount of response we got. We're like, nope, long is good. It's like, all right, well, I guess I'm not alone in this, because that's my reasoning for podcasts. I listen to them all at work. So other podcasts that I listen to, when they ramble on for hours, I'm like, perfect, my day's half over. It was great.
Right.
So yeah, hopefully we'll continue recording several hours at a time. We also have another 5-star. This is from Jomapa. Well, I hope I read that right. The title is again, great podcast, thank you. Fun and informative show with great hosts. The back and forth banter is fun. Thank you guys. P.S. I think Queen Iran should defect to Ebonheart Pact. Now,
5-star review for that 5-star review.
Hold on.
I'm fine with that.
Stop. At least this person likes Queen Iran.
Hey, I always
just
say
like Arkaniir.
She can look.
No.
If she wants to join this side, that's fine. I'm fine with an all-inclusive Ebonheart Pact. That's
the general difference between Lotus's Ebonheart Pact and my Ebonheart Pact. Lotus is like, I fight for Ebonheart Pact, not specifically for Nords. And I'm like, I fight for Ebonheart Pact because that's where the Nords are. And screw everybody else. Yeah.
Let's forget the fact that I can't tell the difference between a Breton and Argonian. I hope I can tell the difference between
I would hope so.
Breton and Imperial. Ark is the racist one here.
I don't know. I mean, you play with the Aldmeri Dominion and as a high elf, so...
I do not play as a high elf. I play as a Breton.
All right, I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, she plays as a Breton and doesn't know what she looks like.
Yeah, that's true. She
looks in the mirror and gets very confused.
For all you know, Pixie, you could be playing as an Imperial all this time.
Apparently also an Argonian.
Yeah, or an Argonian.
A little context. So, during the pre-show, HyperPixie here mentioned that she can't tell... So, she basically said she can only tell apart the ones with the pointy ears, aka elves, and the rest are apparently not people. So
that's not
because
what I said.
she can't tell the rest apart.
If they aren't a beast race and they don't have pointy ears, I get them all confused. Then it came down to, okay, I can mostly tell Nords and Redguards apart from the others.
I would hope
but
so.
Bretons and Imperials. Bretons and Imperials are a toss-up. Is Cicero a Breton or an Imperial?
He's dead. I killed him so fast.
Listen, he is the best
Wait,
follower
you killed
if
Cicero?
you leave him alive.
Oh my god.
So I killed him too,
Cicero
so don't feel bad, Lotus.
Wow, you guys.
He's freaking nuts. But
well,
my
kill him
he
boyfriend...
might be nuts, but okay. Are we doing this? Are we going into Dark Brotherhood lore? Because
all right, so Dark Brotherhood Skyrim. This is whatever. This is on topic-ish, sort of.
Yeah.
Wait, really
so
quick.
this is nothing.
Is he an Imperial or a Breton? I have to know before we go any further.
I would have to look. I believe he's an Imperial. Well, he might be a Breton. I don't remember.
See? Oh, right there. Now you know
I haven't
why
seen
I can't
Cicero.
tell them
Look,
apart.
I haven't seen Cicero in years. Okay. But so
now you know my problem.
Killing Cicero is not right because
what?
Yeah. So if you have when you go to kill Cicero, okay, this is a Skyrim throwback, but when you would hope it's not spoilers at this point because the game is 9
He's an
years
Imperial,
old.
by the way. Gallisner put it in chat as well.
There you go.
I just
Thank you.
confirmed who it was that I killed. I just remember him being a husk.
So, when you go to kill Cicero because you think he betrayed you, and if you have Lucien Lachance's soul, basically spirit, following you around because you get that spell that summons Lucien Lachance, who is the, one of the best Dark Brotherhood, I'm gonna say, assassins. So he says, when you go into kill Cicero, when you enter the sanctuary, Lucien says, I feel a disturbance in the void. Our dread father does not wish this. He straight up, he says that you should not kill Cicero. And Citis does not want it. And at that point, if you have him on, if you have him active, following you around as a spirit, you know that Cicero, in fact, did not betray Dark Brotherhood, otherwise Citis, would want him dead as well. So, yeah.
Oh, well, this is my thing. I don't kill him because I gave a crap if he betrayed me. I killed him because I hate him.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But
that's the reasoning.
He is the keeper. He has a sacred role in the Dark Brotherhood. So
yeah,
he does not have a sacred role to be obnoxious.
I mean, I would think a lot of people would go crazy by simply taking care of, the. Oh, I forgot the name. The coffin of the. I'm gonna say the coffin. Of the Night Mother, like
if you read his journal, he didn't handle that voyage over too well. So they really probably should have just put him in the hold, locked him down there, and just pretended to forget and then sink the boat. Like, he didn't need to get off that boat. They would have been fine just leaving Cicero there. Can you tell I'm not a huge fan of the Dark Brotherhood and all their assassins largely?
If you read his journal, isn't it also strongly hinted at that he's the adoring fan from Oblivion?
There is, it's a bit of a stretch, but like if you could argue that a connection there, but yeah. Also, so SD says, when did we start to care about what Daedric princes want? Citis is not a Daedric prince. Citis is one of the two primary gods that existed before Aedra and Daedra. I think Anu and... I want to say...
Padme,
yeah.
Yep.
So the light and dark, the void and not void, basically, things that exist. Citis is he the Anu or Padme? I don't remember. It's either one of those.
Citis would be... Padme, if I remember correctly.
I think so. Well, the names doesn't matter, but basically Citis precedes, if that's the correct word, Aedra and Daedra, so.
Oh, I just learned a thing. I thought he was a Daedric prince.
No.
Nope.
He basically existed before creation, along with Anu, or the other god thing. So, yeah. A little bit of lore stuff there. My memory is fuzzy on the details of this part of the lore, but I'm fairly certain on the fact that he pre-existed before, Aedra, Daedra, creation, and all those shenanigans that made Tamriel today.
That was back before most of the creation stuff, but yeah.
So Lego in chat says Padme was wife of Anakin.
That's actually how I always remember it. I'm not even a Star Wars fan, but it's like that name just is like so similar. I'm like, I'll just remember it like that. That's fine.
And Gallisner says edamame.
I have no clue.
Delicious.
Is that a food?
I think it's a type of food, yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay, well, that's a word I just
really
learned.
Good, actually. No, they're really good.
So the benefits of recording this live.
We're learning words and we're learning about non-Daedric princes.
Exactly.
We're all learning things.
Right, so we are gonna roll into our news before we go into our discussion topic, which is the Gates of Oblivion reveal. So a quick mention is Elder Scrolls Online is the ESO Plus is currently on free trial, so everyone gets ESO Plus, whether if you actually pay for it or not, until January 26th. So until the day of the global reveal event. Now, the importance of this is, even if you don't have time at the moment to go through the DLCs or anything like that, because it's going to be a short notice if you just heard it on the show, definitely log in, because as soon as you log in, because you have your ESO Plus active, it will transfer all of your crafting materials, everything into the crafting bag, and you will instantly get a lot of bank space and inventory space until it gets filled up again. So even if you have a little bit of time and you just heard about it and you don't have time to go through the DLCs or anything like that, still log in, so all of your crafting mats goes right into that crafting bags that ESO Plus gets. So definitely do that.
Yes. One thing I figure I'll point out, because SD did mention it in chat, just in case anybody is unaware of it, as somebody who largely plays without ESO Plus myself, make sure you go into the Crown Store, and when you try to buy it, then it will just say free. So you actually do need to quote unquote buy it, and that activates it. So that it's not just there. You want to activate it to have it go, and then when you travel around, it'll just stay active from that point on, but just make sure to activate it the first time.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, good to know. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't know that because I don't remember the last time I didn't have ESO Plus. Even when I wasn't playing, I had it because I sub at long intervals. So even if I take a break from the game, the ESO Plus still runs in the back. Now, there has been a very sneaky change in the game regarding the event Impersario, or whatever their name is. Basically, the event people that you get your tickets, or you spend your tickets, you get your Indrix and everything like that. They have been replaced by a couple things. I'm gonna say things. I think it's an Imperial and a Khajiit, but...
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna stop you right there. Is it an Imperial or is it a Breton?
I don't know, because they have
They look the same.
No, because they have this extremely extreme skin on them that makes them pure black. Like, you almost can't tell some of the details of their face, and their neck is basically completely dark, same as their hands and legs. And it's red and shining red tattoos, basically. It's very Deathlands. Yeah, it's very Deathlands vibes, obviously, with the Gates of Oblivion. So they have this bright red glowing neon tattoos all over them, and their skin is black and red. And other than the event assistant, the event Impersario and the other person who is there is gone. You can't interact with them. They have names. I forgot what they are. They have names, but they're at the moment non-interactable. And they're just chilling there. And we don't know anything else about it. I don't know if if they are going to be the new skins, maybe we can get with the future events, or whether if they are going to be... Some people I saw arguing that those skins are going to be the new Indrix.
I've been hearing about that too.
But how many varieties of a skin that you would do? Unless you keep changing the neon color, but then the game is just gonna turn cyberpunk at that point.
I mean,
you had the red neon,
stuff.
green neon, blue neon, purple neon, violet neon, magenta neon. I don't think
nobody can see my skin. I'm covered in armor head to toe, and I don't skin.
Yeah. So I also saw that argument. The primary places that you would see on your character, neck area, arms, legs, are just pure black. And your chest, upper arms, basically shoulders, and thighs are tattooed. So that's sort of counterintuitive to how armor work. That's where you generally have armor on. Unless you are running with boots and gauntlets and a helmet and no chest armor and no greaves. Which is also a look. I'm not judging.
That's how I like to tank.
I did run around like that every now and then. I also run around with a Nordic bath towel all the time, so it would work for me, but yeah. So basically, yeah, Event Impersario got taken over by some Daedric NPCs. Well, not Daedric NPCs, but like Deathland. I forgot the word. Influenced NPCs. So I don't know. We'll see what that's about. At the moment, the best guess is that that's gonna be an event skin that we are gonna get with the Gates of Oblivion chapter or the zone or some event. But until then, yeah, Event Impersario is gone. And Ragnar actually mentioned the name. So they are called Zaloon and Nadia Shana.
Perfect.
Yeah, I am 100% I nailed those names. So
yep.
That brings us to Midyear Mayhem announced, apparently, which I assume Lotus typed that in right there because I hadn't. So Lotus, take it away.
Yay! Midyear Mayhem in the beginning of the year for some reason. More Midyear Mayhem is acceptable. All they really did was they gave a quick confirmation. I actually don't even believe it was a post Elder Scrolls official made, so much as it was responding in its own comments because people kept asking, maybe me and the Red Diamond Courier and a bunch of other people. So they basically gave a reference point that the 28th, and more details to come, but it has been announced, it seems like, that the 28th will be when we start Midyear Mayhem at the beginning of the year. So customarily it's beginning year, Midyear Mayhem. And that would kind of make sense if they do the reveal on Tuesday. Thursday is usually when events start. So that would also line up. So hype.
Yeah. And it's right on time because I just spent around 7 million of my alliance points on making gold. Yeah. So this is right on time. I'm ready to make more alliance points to make more gold. For the first time ever, I've seen 2 million gold. That was fun. I never seen 2 million gold in the game before.
I'm so glad that suggestion worked out so well for you.
Yeah.
I've only seen 1 million gold one time, and that's because Braun gave it to me.
Braun.
Still,
I think we mentioned this last episode as well, but are you still giving away gold? Do you have gold on PCEU? You can give it to me. Right, so the main bit of news, the Elder Scrolls Online Gates of Oblivion Global Reveal event on January 26, 2021 at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 10 p.m. GMT at twitch.tv/Bethesda, where we'll finally learn about what the hell this Gates of Oblivion is going to be about. And so we rarely see him in Elder Scrolls Online related stuff, I guess. Well, I mean, not really. He's been to the live shows and everything, but generally we don't see him on Twitter, etc., talking about it. But the event will be announced by, Matt Firer, which we know all the time, but also Pete Hines as well. So there's gonna be the Uncle Pete and the president of ZeniMax Online Studios, which is not his official title, but I called him that once and now it's stuck. So he's the director, studio director, but also president.
Just like Damien.
For me. Yes. So Damien, and then President Firer and Uncle Pete. And Lemon Turtle, which is the lore master. I'm giving everybody names so I can remember. The only name I definitely 100% don't forget is Finn because of all the suffering.
You curse his name so often?
No, never. Finn. F you. So so there's gonna be, this is actually gonna be a couple days event with other regions of Bethesda community teams joining in with the post shows for the actual event on the following day on January 27th. And there's gonna be drops during the events. We'll be getting a pet, the Viridescent Dragon Frog pet, which is how you would expect a dragon frog to look like in green.
It flies and it's adorable.
And it sort of looks like it's a frog with wings, basically.
It's really cool. I like the dragon frogs. I had dragon frogs on Xbox. Don't think I have any dragon frogs on PC, so I'm very excited to get dragon frogs again. So.
I never liked them because they always felt like a stretch to giving people dragons as a pet. Like,
well, it was like the imps, or not the
dragon
not
imps.
Yeah. Whereas like, there are no baby dragons, so there's this. It's like, okay, it's doing an illusion, like it's doing illusion magic or whatever. I still use the first pet they put in the game, the Betty Netch thing, the one that's actually sitting behind me on my shelf. I have the in-game version of that. It's never changed.
I like frogs. I've always really liked frogs and lizards, so I'm just a happy camper with any of those.
You know what
pets.
they should give? An actual frog. Not a dragon frog, but an actual frog that just like jumps around following you around. That would
there are frogs.
I want to know what's cooler than a frog? A frog with dragon wings that occasionally spits fire.
I see.
Yeah,
now,
I don't know.
I do miss this pet that I had on Xbox. It's I can't remember the first part of his name, but it's a lizard pet. It's like the Hellstrom lizard pet or something, but it's just a big iguana-looking thing that follows you around. I love that pet. I ran an Argonian main for a long time on Xbox, and she had that lizard pet, and I love it so much, and I miss it.
I don't know. They're just slapping wings on everything at this point, so I'm expecting dragon cats, dragon dogs.
I'm fine with this. I like wings.
I don't know. I mean, I guess a dragon cat would be fun. So.
Cats are dragons, and dragons are cats. They are very similar.
I don't like where any of this is going. This is way too high fantasy.
No wonder you confused Bretons and Argonians. With that logic.
Cats are dragons.
Yeah, cats are dragons, Bretons are Argonians, whatever.
The dragons behave much like cats. Just saying.
Do they though?
They do. They're both
that
assholes.
Sounded so defeated.
For no reason.
Do they though?
I have no response to this. Like I'm at a loss. I'll just continue reading. If chat has some responses,
bulldoze
please.
through. Just bulldoze through
because apparently cats and dragons behave very closely because they are just.
I'm not the only one who thought of this. Because I got this from somebody else. I don't know who they are, or I would credit them. But it made perfect sense whenever I read it. And also, specific to the Elder Scrolls, like dragons like to destroy things and conquer things just because. My cat attacks me and is a jerk to me just because.
Okay, so maybe your cat's like a dragon.
So
now
by this logic,
starting to make way more
everything
sense.
That are jerks, dragons. Is that so?
No,
that's the logical conclusion.
Poor Akatosh just got reduced to being a jerk.
Yeah, I was gonna say so.
The entire God of Time just got reduced to being a cat.
The Khajiit have like this whole thing with Alkosh.
So
they have their whole Sunspire trial has to do with dragons and cats.
So we're going with they're all related.
Jerkatosh, yes.
Well, I guess this is canon now.
There's
Lemon
also
Turtle,
like
update
Witcher lore.
I guess type it up.
Yeah,
there's
just
some
tweet
Witcher
this
lore that backs this. Like, there's reasons.
You should tweet this to the lore master, and
I'm pretty sure he would agree that cats are dragons.
They're
very similar. They like to toy
I
with their
say
food before they eat
but knowing Layman, he might. So
I feel like he'd agree.
Oh. I don't like where any of this has gone.
Okay, back to the news. So throughout this event, we will learn about the new stories, new adventures, new systems, and new characters. And as usual, these will be broken down by creative director Lich Lambert, art director Greb, hopefully I read that right, and the lore master Lemon Turtle. I'm sorry, I don't exactly know how to pronounce your actual name, Lemon. This is much better.
Perfect.
Again, there will be crates, there will be pets, and of course there will be a post-show with our beloved, community manager, Jessica Folsom and Gina Bruno to do a recap of the news and everything like that. And then there'll be giveaways of, they didn't say what they are. They just said brand new physical goodies and merch. So I assume, Gates of Oblivion related merch, but
Probably.
This giveaway, from what I saw on Twitter, is limited to United States. Minus one of the states. I don't remember which state, but I think one
Probably
of the
New
states.
York.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. One of them is excluded for some reason.
So here's the thing, because this is kind of weird, and I looked into this a while back. There's reasonings like beyond companies' control with this. There are certain situations. I know it happens. If I'm not mistaken, it happens a decent amount in Canada. I know New York has an issue with it. Giveaways can be classified as gambling. And it violates the local laws for gambling. So if you need to bitch at somebody, vote in your own state to fix it because it's your fault. It's very weird, and to be fair, you're not putting money in, so how somebody has twisted this into whatever, we're not going to go down this rabbit hole of like somehow loot boxes don't get classified as gambling, but this does. It's like whatever, it's weird red tape. But that's the reasoning that not just ZOS or Bethesda or whatever, that's why a lot of times you'll see these bizarre exclusions. And I don't know, who with what can bypass certain things. But when I was looking into it, one of the things one of my friends tried to enter, he wasn't allowed to. And he's like, what the hell? Why can't I enter? This is so unfair. And he looked it up. He's like, oh, can I enter for you and just give them your address, because then it's totally legal because it's not gambling in your state? I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. But that's apparently the reasoning behind it, as ridiculous as that may be.
Yeah, that makes sense. And apparently it is New York, according to chat as well.
And then, if it's out of, overseas or whatever, then I assume it probably has more. There
are some of the European
they don't want to pay
countries
for shipping
that
or something
can
like that.
join, and some of the European countries that are excluded. Turkey is never in those.
That's probably a mixed bag. Well, what was the one you won?
Click event, the eternal clicking. I won the eternal clicking.
Okay, you won the eternal click event. I'm sure
when
Zos
gave everybody carpal tunnel. Basically, it's just like
I clicked once.
50,000 people gets carpal tunnel just so we can get some news. And
I was at work, so I asked my boyfriend to please go click for me.
Wow.
And he did it. He went in and clicked for me.
I clicked to open the stream and was like, nah, everybody else is way more dedicated to this, so I just watched chat and it's heard clicks.
I was like,
just let it play out.
I assume I reduced the lifespan of my mouse by like 50% that day. That's and a lot of people too. And to this day, I still don't think it had anything to do with actual clicks, but it was still fun to,
I have no
do it
idea.
as a community and make fun about it later on. So, yeah.
For the record, I do want to give a quick update because I Googled it to try to remember where I heard the dragons or cats thing from.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So I was right. It was Witcher lore, not ESO lore.
Okay.
And apparently, apart from dragons, cats are the only creatures known to absorb magical energy, but nobody knows what they do with it.
So basically, it has nothing to do with Elder Scrolls, and the only resemblance is that they absorb magic.
They're magical vacuums.
I really like Witcher lore. There's also, I put 2 other links in chat that's just general dragons and general cats, but they're not quite as convincing as the Witcher lore argument.
Right.
So the Witcher lore
Which
argument is
where they both absorb magicka, so they are dragons are cats or cats are dragons.
In the game, they went more into the similarities between cats and dragons. Like, cats also, like, sense magicka. Well, magic. It's not really magicka over there. But I remember it being mentioned that cats and dragons are a lot alike in that, like, mythos. But that was the quote I could find online to back myself up.
I still have no response to this. Like, I don't know how to fight this or back this up. It's...
I have a quote that backs it up, so I feel like I win this one. I mean, they're both deadly little sharp things.
Well,
one's
less little.
I mean, Spyro the dragon is pretty small, let's be honest.
That's the link we need to hear. Spyro is the tie-in between Elder Scrolls and The Witcher.
I didn't realize how ridiculous all this sounded until I saw your reaction to what I was saying. Everybody else just went with it because I've made the cats or dragons remark to Baker, and I think he's just used to like the nonsense
just
that comes out of my
smiling and
mouth.
nodding.
Yeah.
He's like, sure, if you want to call Storm your little dragon, that's fine. He attacks you like one anyway, and just kind of leaves it, but... Yeah, it came from Witcher lore. There was I think there was an in-game book that was talking about cats, and
I
it
still haven't
mentioned
finished
dragons.
The Witcher, so maybe that's why I have zero recollection of any of this either.
You have to read all of the books to
Oh hell
figure
no!
this
I was
stuff
just
out.
stabbing things.
I would make a remark about how ridiculous Witcher is for having a book like that, but we have 36 lessons of Vivek, so
Oh, man.
I've got nothing to say. Yeah, it's...
Do we need to bring Vivek's penis into this?
I mean,
Wuthrod
we
away.
didn't, but you just did.
Yeah, now
So
we're
now-
on to Wuthrod.
Now my cats or dragons thing seems a little bit better
It's
than...
much more grounded.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, it's everything about 36 lessons of Vivek is straight up unhinged, honestly. It's
Oh yeah.
okay. We still have the global reveal event schedule to go through. So
Sorry, I just had to get that out there before we went too far past the cats or dragon things, just to prove that I didn't just come up with this on my own.
I mean, honestly, at any point in the show, that would have worked the same.
Look, before, you know what? If we're going to just throw out weird stuff, do yourself a favor, everybody. If you want to go into some weird stuff, and we're talking about weird books, look up, I was trying to remember the name of it, so I had to Google it real quick. If you want to read, it's an Elder Scrolls Online book, too, so it's not even classic, and this is why sometimes I feel people don't realize how dark this series is. Look up the book, A Gift of Sanctuary. That's all I'll say. Do yourself a favor. After the show, just look up A Gift of Sanctuary and read that.
Okay, the
That'll
way
give you
you
a
brought that up, I don't want to bring that up on the show, so let's
It's
we'll,
fine. I'm just
we'll
telling
look it up on the
everybody-
post show.
Yeah,
Because
you
I'm
just look it
curious
up
as well
later.
now, but the way you brought it up after 36 lessons of Vivek, and it was
It's just another really
yeah,
strange
we'll look at
addition
it
to
after
the
in the
world.
post show. We'll look at it in the
Yep.
post show. So let's
yep.
yeah, because I don't know what to expect at this point. So I mentioned
Anyway.
that there will be post show on the following day to the global reveal event, which will be January 27th on Wednesday on the different regions of Bethesda community team. So the first one is Bethesda UK, and I'm really happy for saying this because it's gonna be at 3 p.m. GMT, 10 a.m. Eastern, at, again, twitch.tv/Bethesda on January 27, hosted by the UK community manager, Ophelia, who is, I mentioned so many times because she's been our Drunkenborn's guild leader. She will present an interview with Matt Firer, aka President, about his Elder Scrolls Online journey, so Matt Fire's Elder Scrolls Online journey. And then we'll be joined by Zynod, Dawn Whisper, K-Pow, and Glittering Ghost to catch up on all the chapter news. So those are all the news that we obviously know. And if you don't, you should check them out. Zynod, Dawn Whisper, K-Pow XD, and Glittering Ghost. Except the O in the Ghost is a 0. So following that is going to be the Bethesda France at 4 p.m. Central European Time, 10 a.m. Eastern. Actually, yeah, that is correct. I was just making sure that time zones were correct there. So that is going to be at twitch.tv/Bethesda_FR. And they're going to be joined by community members Disastre, Artesio, and Mr. Elder Scrolls. And fun fact, I believe I got killed by Disastre. Yeah, I did. So just a quick fun note, memory. I ran into this one guy in Battlegrounds, and he would just not die. And oh my god, he kept, like, it was a capture the flag. We were throwing ourselves at him non-stop. 2 other teams. It was chaos. And he just stood there on the flag, didn't budge, didn't die, barely lost any health. And I was like, well, I am annoyed because this guy is several times tankier than I am. So I messaged him. I asked him about his build, and he said he was streaming on Twitch. So I showed up, and it was Disastre. Now, the stream was in French, so I didn't really get to chat with him. But yeah, I got super annoyed by Disastre and his crazy tanky build. And to this day, I haven't been able to replicate that level of tankiness. And I'm still annoyed. That's something that I'm looking forward to, being that tanky.
Yeah, that sounds pretty rough. I mean, most of my things can be pretty durable, but yeah, some of the complete borderline indestructibility in a few of the game modes, I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah. So, like, my current Battleground build is super tanky as well, but not on that level. Like, I eventually melt. His build, whatever it was, I don't remember it at the moment. He did say what he was using. It was crazy tanky. I don't know. It was ridiculous. So, the 1 hour later, so 5 p.m. Central European Time. Actually, wait, 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. Central European Time. That is 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. Again on Wednesday. I don't know where exactly this is. So Benelux team at Bethesda over at twitch.tv/Bethesda_NL. I want to say Netherlands, but I don't know why it's not called Netherlands. It's called Benelux. I don't know where Benelux is, but I'm sorry. So they will have Linda and Julian, and there will be cooking and art and giveaways. So, and then finally there will be the Germany stream, which is going to be on Thursday actually at 7 p.m. And that is going to be on twitch.tv/Bethesda_DE with the community manager Kai, and they will have the guests, Rich Lambert and Mike Finnegan. So there you go. That's going to be 2 days of events across multiple regions, along with the actual global reveal event itself. Whew. That was longer than I expected to get into, but there you go.
Before we move out of the global reveal,
Yes.
the only thing, unless I don't see it on here, I don't think it's probably on here because it wasn't specifically them. But we had discussed it in our chat, and yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to bring this up because I always say, like, I might not spend crazy amounts of money in-game on stuff like some people, but man, one of the few things that I unfortunately am a huge consumer whore for is physical swag stuff.
Yes.
And I'm very curious to see the chair that they're releasing.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I completely erased it from my memory because I know I won't be getting it. So, was it... Which one? Was it Noble Chairs or Secret Lab?
It's Noble Chairs.
No.
Right.
Yep. But yeah, they're doing a reveal of what seems to be like an Elder Scrolls gamer chair. So I'm very curious what the design would be. Everybody has very kindly hoped for my benefit that it is just slathered in AD things so that I won't want to buy it.
Then I'll have to buy it, and I just bought this chair like last year.
You can send your secret lab to me. It'll be fine.
Yep, so
You'll
you
just
go.
pay around 100 grand in shipping. That's
Oh
fine.
yeah, I was gonna say I will
can't send
literally
this one
mortgage
to
my
you.
house to send you one of these chairs.
So I got this particular chair because it's like the only one I can find for people my size. Because you have to be like, the recommended height for this is under 5'3". So you're too tall for this chair, Ark.
Yeah,
I'm
that
sorry.
wouldn't work.
I had to get a short person chair.
Honestly,
and
I
was
need
just
to
so
get
happy.
an office chair, like, because gotta say, most gaming chairs are, sorry for saying this, bad compared to office chairs. Just regular office, well, not regular office chairs, but the same price office chairs.
So
I've
yes,
realized that
that's-
during my last the last company that I was working for, because oh my god, the chairs there.
So
Are so
it's kind of a mixed bag. So yes, a lot of it you're paying for the name. Like that's a lot of what you're paying for. So like that is definitely one thing. And you can get ergonomic chairs in other ways depending upon the style of ergonomics you're specifically looking for. You can get either comparable or cheaper sometimes with like just like an office chair or whatever. In a weird situation, I don't care for office chairs because they're squishy and they don't
Squishy?
provide. Yes,
What do you
the
mean?
ergonomic design of the backing of those chairs is for people who can bend.
No. You
I
are
can't.
looking at
Oh.
if
No,
if
like,
it's not
it's
ergonomic,
like no,
you are
that's
looking at the wrong
point.
chair.
No, that's the point. My back doesn't form to the chair. Like the chair has points that it's supposed to push as a pressure point.
Mhm.
I can't do that. I need a flat board surface
There
because
are
I can't
flatboard
bend.
office chairs
They-
as well.
Right, but those ones are basically the equivalent of just like a gamer chair. So that's why I actually love my gamer chair, because it's so up. Like I like the firm side of it, where more often than not, a lot of people that will give you like cramps, like in your back or something like this. It's like, oh God, I'm like so upright. It's not like bending. So it's weird that one of the drawbacks to a lot of gamer chairs is one of the only things I like about it, where it's kind of like, oh, this is almost like too upright most of the time. But to your point, you can tack on basically the same price as like a chair of anything plus $100 or $200 for the name whatever. Like, oh, it says DX Racer at $150. It's like, okay, that was like 40 cents worth of extra padding or whatever. It's like, and it was just stitched onto the back. So yeah, you're paying
So-
for name as much as a chair.
So what you are saying is, gaming chairs give people like back cramps, but your back is always cramped.
So I actually, it's funny because like some people I know don't like theirs, other people I know love theirs. So it's got to be like something the way you sit, and that's just it. It's like one of the things, they come with like a lumbar support pad. Gets in my way, I have to get rid of it. I want no support on my chair. So the things they add to make them softer, I can't use. They get they push weird on me.
Basically, like 100% those gaming chairs and like Secret Lab, the one that Pixie is using, Noble chairs, they make amazing chairs. Don't get me wrong, they make fantastic stuff. But a lot of the time, because of their fancy shapes, at least I believe, they are not as ergonomic as some of the same priced office chairs that are insanely comfortable. So
Oh no,
if you're
I
not in it
definitely
for the
know what you're
looks,
saying.
definitely check out office chairs as well. I'm mentioning this because I don't remember who. I think it was Isha who mentioned that they were looking for a new chair. And we got into this discussion, and now that the chair came up, I just want to mention it again because...
Yep, and you're definitely... I mean, you're right. They are not... Even if you do like the design of them, you're paying extra just for the cosmetics of it being a quote-unquote gamer chair. Where it's like, yeah, nothing about a gamer chair is cost-effective at all.
I mean...
They're pretty, though.
I was gonna say,
don't get me wrong,
if either Secret Labs or Noble chairs were available here, I would probably get one.
Yeah.
Even though...
But again, but you're right. You're 100% right. It's not a cost, effective way of doing it. They're expensive chairs. Like, the Fallout and Doom ones that Noble chairs have already done are $500 a piece, I believe. I think they were $499 or whatever. They look awesome, but to your point, you can probably get that same chair for maybe $350 or $300. Like the comparable version if you didn't want the exact type of Doom logo or whatever.
Yeah. And that is our chair section.
That's chair
apparently.
Talk.
Yeah. What did you... Oh, right. You mentioned the Noble Chair's upcoming ESO chair.
There's an Elder Scrolls one. We haven't seen it yet. Could be cool.
Honestly, I expect just an Ouroboros in the back because the Doom one, I believe, just has Doom in the back.
It's the Doom rune. Yeah, it's the rune that you'd go into the rune challenges. It's that on there. And the Fallout one was was the Fallout guy giving a thumbs up, and then it's got some logos on it and stuff like that.
Look, guys, just get it printed, get a glue, just glue it back to your back of.
I'm probably
going
to waste $500 on the chair. Look,
yes, it's fine.
In all fairness, I got my chair on sale because they were about to launch a new series of this chair, so I paid less for this.
If you can ever get one of these things on sale, then it's like the equivalent of another one, then go for it.
Actually, I assume you used a lot of different office chairs, right? Because you have a programming job as well.
Oh, I have a fun story about this.
Oh my god.
So, my company had really shitty office chairs, real bad cheap ones. And they also gave me a desk that was too tall, and the chair wouldn't come up enough, so I was typing kind of like this.
Oh, no.
Which is really bad for my wrists. So I'm like, look, I don't know what we need to do, but I need a way to get up higher without just sitting on a booster seat all day, please. And so they were like, okay, find a chair. So I was also at the time, this is before I got this chair, I was in the market for a cheap gaming chair that could also get up really high because my desk that my PC sits on is really tall. So I was like, I'll just get the same one twice because it'll be tall enough. Which it was tall enough, but it felt like I was sitting on cardboard. Because they let me just whatever chair you want under, I think they gave me a $200 limit. I was like, this one's $80. I'll just get this one. That should have been my first clue that I was doing something bad, is that it was so cheap. But it was also this red gaming chair that it would go up high enough. This chair goes up high enough. This is the perfect height, which is another thing that I was looking for whenever I got this chair in particular. I also have to have a footstool under my chair because I'm so short that if I want to have proper posture and keep my feet flat on the ground. And the only footstool I could find that is the exact height that I need it is a Mickey Mouse potty chair for children. So I have stolen my son's potty chair for this, and I didn't have a stool at work. So people would come into my office and they'd be like, how the hell do you sit like that? And it's because I was sitting crisscross applesauce in my chair because I can't get my feet, they just dangle, and that's uncomfortable. So I just sit on my feet most of the day, and that's bad for them because then my feet fall asleep and I can't walk whenever I have to use the bathroom or take a break. And my company didn't get the special ergonomic chairs, but then Baker started working at the same company I work for. He didn't make the same mistake I did and didn't just go for the chair that is the right height because he's taller than I am and had that luxury. And he got a chair that had like a built-in back massager and stuff, and it was only like $10 more than mine. But it was shorter, so I can't use it.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. It was some chair off of Amazon. He's like, this is the most comfortable chair ever. And he has like this back massaging pillow. And I was like, why don't they make this in short person heights? And I think that society is inherently sizist. And I don't appreciate it. That being said, the best thing I can say about Secret Lab chairs is not only do they go up really high so I can reach my desk, but they also are one of the few chair companies that have, like, if you look at chairs, they'll have like a recommended height range on them as well as like a max weight range. And most of them, it's like, oh, you should be like 5'6" to 6'1" to use this chair. It's like, well, I'm 5'1", so how is this supposed to work? This one, it's like 4'9" to 5'3". So I was actually able to find a chair that like fits me correctly, because with my last chair, it was just like your average gamer chair, so you were supposed to be like 5'4" and up or 5'6" and up. And like the pillow would like push my head forward because I just wasn't tall enough for it to sit properly. And so with this one, whenever I do decide to use my pillow, most of the time I just rip it off. But it actually like sits in the right spot and all that, and it's more comfortable. And it looks like I am a properly sized human instead of the top of it being somewhere like up here. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to ask whether if you had office chairs better than your Secret Lab, but apparently not. Yeah.
No, it was way worse.
Yours seems very specialized in a different way than mine is special.
I was just looking for a height range, which I even had to look at children's chairs.
Perfect.
And was still having trouble. I was like, you know what? I'll just get the Secret Lab. I'll just pay the money. And they had a Black Friday sale where I could get it under $300. So I was just like, you know what? That's just, I think I paid like $294 for mine. Like $300 was my max. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, this is perfect. I'm ordering it. And
yeah, that's definitely a good price. I mean, $300, I would get it here, 100%.
Yeah. I did look at some of the ergonomic mesh back office chairs, though they just didn't make any that came up tall enough for me to use my computer. So it was strictly a height issue at that point. So I just needed one that got real tall. And that's just the life of me being comically small. I'm sure, Lotus, your wife feels my pain here if she has to sit down at all at her job at a computer.
She does, and I had to go on a hunt to find one that would fit her properly. So I kind of know what you're talking about.
I also didn't look super, super hard because I just needed a chair that was tall enough because I thought it would solve all my problems. I was like, a chair's a chair. And yeah.
Look,
it was rough.
Just don't sit at all. Just get a standing desk. Never sit. That's fine.
I had one of those. It was also too tall whenever I like put it up, and like it was just like at an awkward height where it was either too short or too tall.
Okay, I was about to say,
notches.
What if you put it like the desk should be a sitting desk, but you're standing?
It was just, I don't know why I always have these problems. I have to have stools strategically placed all throughout my house so that way I can reach things. It's just, it's a nightmare. It's harder than people think it is to be this small. You're a Bosmer in real life.
That's why.
Yeah, IRL Bosmer.
I'm a Bosmer who desperately wants to be an Altmer. That's why I play Altmer in games.
That's why you like the Altmer.
I get to live out my fantasy of being tall.
I don't think being an Altmer is worth that, though. Don't do it. Just.
I mean, Nords are also tall.
Yeah, be a Nord. I mean, or at least be short, but with your dignities. Don't be an Altmer.
Listen, I want to be tall and good with magic. Which races are
Shalidor
tall
is a
and good
Nord,
with
one
magic?
of the most legendary mages. Whose house you're in love with right now when Alush goes online is a Nord.
He's an outlier. He is an outlier.
I don't even know
Most
what
of them
that
aren't
means.
good with magic. It's
He's
like,
not the normal.
Not the norm.
Well,
an anomaly.
I don't know. Doom is magic. And, Dragonborns have been shouting that around for a long time, and they're generally, Nords or Imperials, definitely not Altmers.
My Dragonborn was an Altmer.
you're a blasphemy. Like your entire existence as a concept, you are a blasphemy. Like dictionary, it's just like you look up dictionary meaning for blasphemy,
Blasphemy
and
is
there's
just a picture of Pixie smiling, smiling at the character creation menu.
We are moving on. I hated where this went. Those were
We started
words
with
I did not
chairs,
want to
and
hear.
this is where we ended up.
Those were
Why
things
did you
that I
ask
did not
about
want to
office
hear.
chairs? You should have known.
Oh my god. How? Goodness me. Okay, we are gonna move on to our Gates of Oblivion discussion because I'm in a bad mood now.
Sorry.
Well, you should be sorry, but not to me. Just like to general Elder Scrolls existence. That was, oh man. Yeah, see, Galsner's upset in chat as well. You broke this entire thing.
I'm sorry. It's just yes,
It's just
I made
wrong.
an altered. So to be fair, the first playthrough I didn't know the Thalmor were the bad guys, and I just made a high elf.
Yeah, see, that's
so I hadn't played it.
I mean, if you had known anything about Elder Scrolls, you would have just inherently known that high elves are bad, so that would have been fine. But
Listen,
So, yeah. we
at
need
that point, I had played like 5 minutes of Morrowind,
5
and
minutes.
the whole thing was me as a 9-year-old looking at the cool mushroom houses. So
See,
I
this
had
is
no
why
idea.
this is why
how
Morrowind
they were
is
bad.
this is why Morrowind is not the best Elder Scrolls game, because in 5 minutes
Well,
it
now I'm
failed. In 5 minutes it failed to show that Altmers are bad. So yeah, lacking game.
Nope. Now I'm mad. Now we're all mad.
I
Everything's
just
ruined.
my entire experience in Morrowind when I was 9 when it came out, it was just me running around, and I found some cool mushroom towers. I was like, yes, I would like to play Elder Scrolls games in the future. Then I got Skyrim at launch, or close to launch. It was like Christmas after Skyrim, so a month later. And I was like, so I researched the races, but only like their passives and stuff. And I found out that high elves were really good with magic, and I wanted to do a magic-based build. So I went with a high elf. And then I really liked high elves because I was a badass mage. No, actually, hold on, I take this back. My first tune was a Breton.
Brenton's
Who are
fine.
also good with magic.
Exactly. And they're
So-
also part elf.
So you played as a Breton. You played Skyrim, where high elves, like pretty much all of them, are depicted in the most evil, jerk ways.
Not
And
all of
then
them.
you went back to playing a high elf after
Yeah, 'cause
seeing
I
all
wanted
that.
to- I liked the whole magic background because I
Yeah,
just wanted to
Bretons
be
are
like a
magic background
really
as well.
powerful mage. Yeah, but not as. It's just because they're mixed with
Dunmers
elves.
are really good at magic.
Big into the oppression.
Exactly. So, like, if we're going Dunmer versus Altmer, I'd say the Altmer are the nicer of the two. Because I also really like because I really like Argonians. I prefer the Altmer.
But the Altmer
Right,
don't like
so screw the
Argonians either.
Khajiit then. Just-
I like Argonians a lot. My very first character in an Elder Scrolls game, period, was an Argonian. I was in Morrowind.
Yeah, if you played Morrowind as an Argonian, that must have been a
That
rough
was a bad
experience.
You can't even wear boots in that game, Argonians, because their feet don't fit in them.
Again, this was a situation where I sat down at character creation. I was like, I don't want to be a humanoid. I want to be an animal type, an animal-based race. And so I had narrowed it down to Khajiit versus Argonian. I was like, lizards are cool, and they can breathe underwater. I want to go swimming. I'm 9 years old. Here's an Argonian.
The breathing underwater thing is literally my favorite generic passive thing. The races, because then I can just
exactly.
explore forever and not die.
Yeah.
Before we actually move on to something other than
Relevant?
yeah, that's a good word. I know you couldn't wear shoes. Could you not wear helmets as well? Does anybody remember? I don't think you could
Oh,
wear
I have
helmets.
no idea.
I don't think you could wear helmets
know.
as a Khajiit or an Argonian either because you had too much snout.
Because I was 9, I don't even know if I was wearing clothes, to be honest. I just ran around.
Nude Argonians.
I mean, yeah. Elder Scrolls games are not supposed to be played by a 9-year-old anyway, so
that's they're
technically
rated M
speaking.
for a reason.
So, in my parents' defense, they had no idea I was playing it because it was in the middle of the night and they had no idea I was awake. And it was like the situation. So we had just moved from Missouri to Florida, and like all of our friends from Missouri came down to visit us like a year later. And we didn't have enough rooms for everybody because it was like 18 people in a 3-bedroom house. And I had my best friend, my other friend's little sister, and my best friend's little sister all in my room. But then my best friend's brother was sleeping on the floor, and he had an Xbox and he had Morrowind. And I would stay up all night, every night, watching him play Morrowind. And then at one point he goes, "I'm going to bed early. Would you like to play instead of me?" And I stay up all night exploring Vardenfell. And that's whenever I realized I needed to get this game at some point. Never got a chance to really get that game, but I did get to have, whenever I got my Xbox 360, it was like at the same time Skyrim came out. So I didn't get a chance to experience Oblivion whenever it was new. I actually played Oblivion after Skyrim. So it was like this whole thing where I just didn't get to play it again until that point. So I did things in a really weird order. But
now Oblivion is your favorite Elder Scrolls game, right?
I'm still playing it. So we'll get to it more in Tales.
I'll take that as a yes.
I don't know. I think I've played a total of 25 hours of Oblivion. So not enough to be sure, but I do really like it.
I'll take that as a yes. All right, so Gates of Oblivion, 2 days away, and we still don't know where we are going, what is going to happen. Is Dagon going to be the villain, or are we going to see Meridia as the villain finally, or anything of the sorts? The most 3 main zone locations people argue about are Skingrad, Bravil, and Leavin. Plus Deadlands, obviously. So what do you think? Do you think we'll see Dagon as the villain, just like, Molag Bal or the 3 Daedric Princes I forgot in Somerset? Or are we gonna have him as sort of a potential, just an interested party? Not as villain, not as ally per se, but just an interested party. And are we gonna see Meridia as the villain finally? Because it's been hinted for so long.
I would love that. Because I really want Meridia to once again not be aligned with what we want. Because she seems like such a great villain when she doesn't line up with what you're going for. And like you said, there's so much hinting at it. So I'm kind of hoping that Dagon, whatever his involvement, but it's like similar to the Daedric trifecta that we dealt with, basically that started at base game, which the Meridia thing has basically started since base game as well. Okay, we're back to a Daedric incursion. That's what I personally want for the story because I like that stuff when I'm an overpowered monster. So it's like, yeah, let's get some of that involved. I would be a big fan of that personally. If it wasn't just Dagon, get a few others involved, and then, I don't know, Hermaeus Moore can come in and just save the day and be the greatest ever.
So, I think... So it's a year-long journey, right? I think in the first dungeon pack, it's going to have some dungeon that is us going into the Deadlands, getting the sigil. I know a little while back I said that it was going to be the trial, but now I'm thinking it's going to be the first dungeon pack is going to involve a sigil and all of that, going in and closing an Oblivion gate. I think that's going to be a dungeon. I think that the first dungeon pack is going to lead you to believe that Mehrunes Dagon is the aggressor, but then whenever the actual expansion comes, there will be a twist at some point in it where you realize that Meridia is actually your true enemy, and Dagon may not be actively helping you, but he's not exactly the one you're after. And I feel this way because of not only the little hint we got in Somerset, but also as recent as Greymore, whenever you do, and spoilers for Greymore, whenever you do the quest at Mount Kilcreath, her cultists are talking about how she abandoned them.
Oh, yeah.
So she's off doing something else, not protecting her people. And she even let her shrine be overrun by vampires and desecrated again. Like, apparently that's just a theme for her, that she seems to care so much about Mount Kilcreath, but she just lets anybody just trounce on in there and do whatever they want with it. But they went on and on about how could Our Lady abandon us? And it's because she's cooking up something, and I don't think Mehrunes Dagon's going to be our worst enemy. He may not exactly be helpful, but I don't think he's the main guy. I think it is going to end up being Meridia. He may even end up helping us, but I do think that they're going to want to make this a twist. So they're going to lead us to believe that Mehrunes Dagon is the evil one. And I think that the fact that Mehrunes Dagon may be wanting to help some people could be causing a rift within the Daedra that follow him, and maybe that's what the coins mean from the cultists. So there's 3 different coins, and there's 3 different factions of Daedra that follow him. The Zivali, and there were a few others.
Yep.
I think that maybe some of them are like really upset that he's trying to be helpful, and others are kind of with him on this. Maybe the third one's kind of neutral, and this is causing kind of a war within Dagon's little family. These are my wild speculations. I'm making this up as I go along, but it seems to make sense to me.
Dagon is Daedric Prince of Domination, right? The dude loves to rule, like that's his thing. And Meridia has been screwing over so many Daedric princes over the last few years. Like, he screwed over Molag Bal, he screwed over Clavicus Vile, Nocturnal, and Mephala. So she's been going around messing up the plans of other Daedric princes while appearing good, but we all know the quote-unquote good Daedra are not in fact good, but they just have sort of similar interests to what is perceived good in Tamriel, like Meridia being light and hating undead, and therefore people thinking that Meridia is good. So I wonder if Dagon, like if she messes up the plans of Dagon as well at some point in Oblivion, and Dagon is like, you know what, I'm the Daedric Prince of Domination, and you messing up my plans or preventing me from ruling or doing whatever I want to do is a problem. And we kind of know the Daedric Princes don't really engage themselves like in wars or anything. So you don't see Dagon just grabbing an axe and going after Meridia. But they always have agents in Tamriel doing their bidding as their champions. And that... I keep forgetting that Daedra's name. The friendly Daedra. Well, I mean, I say friendly, but, you know.
Azura?
No. Yes, Lyrinth, yeah.
The Dremora.
Yeah, the NPC. Yeah, Dremora.
Okay.
The one that we got the letter from.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, Lyrinth.
Okay. Her reaching out to us could be that, they basically are looking for a champion for Dagon to mess up Meridia in return, finally. I hope so.
So, all right. Here's kind of at least to go along with that. Since Dagon is the Daedric Prince of change, destruction, and revolution, one of the things that...
Actually, why didn't any of you correct me on that? Daedric Prince of Domination is Molag Bal, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Dagon is destruction.
Yeah.
Domination.
Whatever. Oh, I knew what you meant.
Bal.
I guess it didn't even click because I knew what you meant. Yeah, so the thing about Dagon is it's pretty much irrelevant as to who is in charge, as long as he's overthrowing whoever's in charge. So to your point, Meridia has been kind of furthering her influence more and more by screwing over the others. Maybe she's gotten a little too big for her own britches at this point, so to speak. And it's to the point where Dagon's like, okay, maybe whatever plot she finally gets to go in motion, because clearly there's a long game here. My guess would be is if she makes her play, starts to pull power, but there's too much to it, that could trigger Dagon to be like, no, we're not doing any of that. Like, you can't have that much power, because every time, this will start to touch on my tales with my tragedy of Battlespire later on, but he is the antagonist in that game. He's also the antagonist in Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. And these situations in both of those scenarios related to the human threat that they were overthrowing, where it was the Septum line was too established. And when you had originally Jaeger Tharn trying to overthrow it, he went along with that because it was going to overthrow the status quo, was the idea. If there's something that's a status quo developing, this would theoretically be his time to flip the script, so to speak, and try to mess everything up, whatever that may be. And if it happens to be Meridia, well, that wouldn't be good, because that's somebody being too established, and that's not what he likes.
Yeah.
But to that point, not you as in you or me, but if you could utilize him since he doesn't have really an agenda of his own other than causing things to collapse, you could kind of almost use him as a weapon, even if it's not his intent, because if you can convince him that something needs to be overthrown, kind of like Jaeger Tharn does, with, Elder Scrolls 1 into 2 into Battlespire, that whole region, that's like, he becomes almost like a weapon rather than an individual himself. So there's a lot of reasons he could play a part in this, not just him being, hey, I'm here to mess stuff up. Check out my huge shoulders. So.
I mean, when you think about it, Dagon is one of the more influential Daedra as well, both in terms of like raw power and his influence on Tamriel.
Right.
Like,
a lot of what he's done has had great impact.
Yeah.
I mean, depending upon how you look at it, you could also kind of attribute some things to him that maybe shouldn't be attributed to him, where it's like, this happened.
Just looking at you have, for example, followers of Sanguine, like, right? They are just the priests here and there, cults here.
Yeah.
Dagon has an entire, mythic dawn that
the mythic
is
dawn
massive. It's a massive cult compared to, some others. He has great influence compared to the rest of the Daedra.
Like Pixie said, he's also got the 3 different clans of individual Daedra and Dremora that basically work under him as his legions. It's like he's definitely much more of the war general type than some of the other Daedras.
Oh, that's kind of his thing as well. He's
for sure.
He's a warmonger Daedra.
Make stuff literally just to kill it.
Yeah. And here's... Oh, I will have to bring it up on my phone because otherwise Discord is... Maybe I'll lose the cameras, but... So, Doc from Vanquish Guild actually brought something to my attention as well that I hadn't paid attention before. So, apparently, Dagon was created... So, I didn't look this up, but I wonder if you guys know anything about it. So, he said Dagon was created to be good. The Daedra of Hope to help fight in a time long before now, but something happened and you kind of know him as he is. Do you know anything about this? Dagon being created for good originally.
So I've heard that as well. I don't actually know where exactly that's from, but I do know about that. And when you think about it, when you look at, I mean, this is further along the lines, revolution and destruction, a lot of times that's like, okay, well, destruction, that's not great. Like, oh, you're blowing up. But the concept of revolution, and even combined with destruction, isn't necessarily always bad when it's the destruction of something bad. You had the Alien Empire that just oppressed everybody and tortured them. Well, in that case, the destruction of their empire and the revolution of the human races is a good thing, which is directly what Dagon would want. So it's not like he is basically like hyper neutral, like almost like chaotically neutral. It's pretty irrelevant what he's doing as long as he's doing it. So if he overthrows something like a dynasty that everybody loves, okay, that's bad. But then if it's just like a society of torture and mistreatment, that's good. So it's just like, it's really all the perspective of the situation. So him being a potential hope is absolutely something that could be, depending upon how you look at it, something that I could definitely see for sure.
Maybe he will crush the Ebonheart Pact.
No, we are the good faction. Well, I guess we are winning. Oh, shit.
Ha!
No.
I mean, no. Our colors align with Dagon's colors, so we are good. If anything, it's the...
I was going to say, otherwise, everyone lay down your arms and let the AD take over. Just real quick. And then we blow them up.
And as Gadget mentioned, he is also the Lord of Ambition. So revolution, energy, and ambition, right? Change, revolution, energy, ambition. And Meridia has been getting very ambitious as well. If you think about it, she's been sure. So, and another thing Duck mentioned is that I had never paid attention to this because I've done main story of the game like several years ago. The hooded figure that if you don't start the game in the original tutorial, aka don't get stabbed and get your soul snatched and everything like that, a hooded figure shows up. She's like, my benefactor wants to talk to you. And if you go, or rather when you go, it's basically a warm cold trap. And that original you getting snatched and stabbed and getting your soul stolen, scene plays. That's the thing. So hooded figure basically is what gets you into the warm cult and gets your soul stolen and starts the whole original main story of Elder Scrolls Online. And apparently, in the pages of UESP, unofficial Elder Scrolls pages, the hooded figure has the exact same face and voice actor as Meridia, the groundskeeper.
What?
Yeah. So
I did not know that.
Me neither, because I never really interacted with the hooded figure. But apparently, because I also don't level any alt characters, so I just missed it. But apparently the groundskeeper, aka Meridia, or rather Meridia's avatar in the Hallowed City, is exact same face and exact same voice as the hooded figure who now delivers you to a warm cold trap that starts the main story of Elder Scrolls Online, where you get your soul stolen and everything like that. And
interesting.
And when you defeat Molag Bal, this is 6 years old. I'm sorry if these are spoilers, but
this is, I think, a little past the statute of limitations.
Yeah, we can't have a show without talking about these anymore. So when you defeat Molag Bal in the original story, and you get this massive amount of souls released from Molag Bals and like the Plain Mole and Cold Harbor, and you find yourself in the colored rooms because Meridia is there, and Meridia is like, I grabbed your soul before it got, released and lost, whatever. Out of hundreds of thousands of souls Molag Bal had gathered, Meridia was like, yeah, I just grabbed yours, here's your soul back.
Yeah.
And Duck brought to, mentioned that, how does she have your soul out of all that? Like, can she do that? And mixed with the fact that the hooded figure is exactly the same as Groundskeeper, and she is the one who delivers you to get your soul snatched in the first place, so on and so forth. And when you kill, well, quote unquote kill, you don't really kill him, but basically destroy his avatar at the moment.
Yeah.
When you kill Molag Bal, he says like, haha, this is also part of my plans, because I am the Daedric Prince of, schemes and planning and domination and things like that. So you defeating me is also part of my plans. So if you, like, I don't know how crazy Zas would go with the twists, right?
I don't know.
In my ideal world, Molag Bal and Meridia would be working together from the start. That would be my ideal world.
That'd be amazing.
And Meridia bringing you, like getting you involved into the entire thing so you can destroy, or quote unquote think that you destroyed Molag Bal's avatar. All of this would be an elaborate plan by Molag Bal and Meridia together. And they would be basically going around screwing other Daedra up until their eventual plans. And finally Dagon gets involved and he's like, hold up. You guys have been scheming around, building up influence, but I have 4 arms and amazing shoulders. And I'm gonna put a stop to this. That would be my ideal world.
It would definitely be playing the long game, just like a certain someone who, brought on an Aldmeri Dominion supporter a little while before, making a high elf tune, and also playing a high elf in D&D, and also admitting his love for Queen
and
Irene.
The fact that you just threw that to my face, wow.
Again, this is why the plot twists seem to just coincide. Our show as well as the game.
But I think that's actually really plausible. I didn't know that it was the same character model and same voice actress.
I mean, why else would you do that?
Sense.
So
why else would you do that?
Yeah, that does seem very coincidental. And the other thing Gadget Hazard actually put, my favorite quote from Molag Bal, is there are worse masters than me, much worse.
There you go.
And
oh God.
That's always been one of the quotes. When I heard that, I was like, the hell's that supposed to mean?
Yeah.
And they've never really addressed that quote the same way that there's been a couple that you had mentioned, Ark, about like, this is all part of my plan. And it's always like, I was like, okay, so we know there's something more than just him being a douche. And we've gotten little tidbits of them, well, not like any of the Daedric princes, a little bit of working together, a little bit of screwing each other over, and it kind of jumps around all over the place. So it's like, man, I would be really all in if I want them to go just wacky with the twists and have like, by the way, this has been a hyper long game of writing. Like, yeah, good lord.
I mean, because this is Elder Scrolls. Like, it lives for long-term writing. Like, nothing in Elder Scrolls universe is generally like short-term. Okay, yeah, this is a short story, whatever. It's a 25-year-old, or rather 26-year-old universe now with massive amounts of writing. So I wouldn't be surprised. And Slap says, like, character model and the voice seems super coincidental, but that's like using Groundskeeper as the hooded figure.
I was about to say, it would be coincidental if it was like, oh, by the way, there's a shopkeeper on the left side of Bankarai who looks like Meridia. It's like, okay, well, that's probably not her master plan.
Yeah, right.
But the fact that they kind of match up and are both so storyline specific, like that, I don't know, that seems a little more out of Is that coincidence that they happen to pick the person that murders you is also the person who guides you in Cold Harbor?
Yeah, that's
could be, but that seems
I mean, either
like
they did that as a
big
tease,
coincidence.
like
Or they're just
they were
screwing
like-
with us.
yeah. So
People are gonna look so much into this.
yeah, which I can see happening as well.
Oh yeah, sure, you could do that too.
Whoever did that could currently be like watching this and like,
It's an artist who doesn't even work there
fools.
anymore. I just put this in as a joke and then quit.
you fools. You have.
It definitely seems plausible, though, especially since over the last couple of years, they've just been kind of hinting more and more that Meridia is not this helpful person that we're led to believe she is in the main story, especially with this most recent thing in Greymore. Now, I can't think of any incidents from Markarth where Meridia is specifically mentioned, but I haven't done all the side quests and everything there. But I know
she's not really but I mean, she also doesn't have a temple in Markarth,
right?
And the Reach, the way she does, literally have a temple in Western Skyrim,
which she's just strangely absent from, you know.
Yeah, I mean the most obvious, like, proof against Meridia we had was in Somerset, like at the end with the book, which wasn't even part of actually completing the quest.
Yes,
like that book was not in any quest objectives, nothing like that. You only got to that book if you were listening to the guards talk about a weird book just spawning out of nowhere like it was nothing. I guess it's just another day for Altimers, I don't know. Or if you just randomly went up the stairs and saw the book. Like that's the only two ways that you would find that book, because it's never in a quest marker or anything like that. And in that book, Darien mentions that Meridia is evil.
So that's what I was kind of trying to get at in a roundabout sort of way. So in Somerset, like, it's something that's easily missable. Like, I don't think I ever found the book myself. I've just heard you guys talk about it and took you at your word. But it's very in your face in Greymore. Like, it's part of the main quest that you have to help these people. And they're talking about how could Meridia betray us? How could she leave us and abandon us? So the fact that it started out so subtle a couple of years ago, and it's becoming less and less subtle as time goes by, makes me think that we're going to see something soon.
I want to fight Meridia. How dare she, like, make Darien suffer? That's the only thing.
So this is going to be a bit of a stretch.
Meridia's realm has no baked bread.
He's stuck in that golden armor. He can't just go naked like he always does. It's what a life.
Forced to wear a shirt.
Yeah.
So this is
no complex carbs. Real torture.
This is going to seem like a bit of a stretch, but you know that house that came out, that was a limited time thing not too long ago of Shalador's realm?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Place looks amazing.
You want to know something that I noticed about it that looks amazing? It's shockingly similar to the way the background of the colored rooms looks.
Oh, yes. The weird
Actually,
mystic...
doesn't really. Colored rooms are super colorful.
I just
like, if you go into depths of Malatar, colored rooms are like orange, yellow, purple, red, blue. It's bright. But
So
Shalador's is more like
purple and
purple,
blue.
isn't it?
I remember purple and blue overwhelmingly from the colored
I need to
rooms.
Google.
Yeah, now I want to go back to Shadow. Luckily, one of my guild's crafting places is, what do you call it?
No, actually, you were right,
Shalador's.
Pixie. Yeah, it's pretty similar. Never mind. I guess in my head, I just added colors to it.
You know what
Yeah, I
I'm
was about to say,
wondering
it's
if
purple
what
and
you're
blue.
thinking of? The ground in Depths of Malatar is like bright red. So I wonder if that's the color that you're thinking of more than the like weird sky in the background type of deal.
I don't know. I just
That's
in my
the only thing I'm
head,
thinking of.
I remember a lot more colors than just purplish,
Weird
bluish
spacey
tones.
wacko stuff. Yeah.
I wonder, was it in the main story that it was more colorful?
Well, you briefly when she
I
saves
remember
you,
a lot of
quote
purple there
unquote.
too.
Yeah, there's that brief period where you talk to her in the color rooms, and I kind of remember that being like a kaleidoscope and being like, wow, my character's on a lot of acid.
I remember purple, blue, and yellow from the end of the main quest.
Yeah, in the main quest, it was even less colorful now that I'm looking at screenshots. They actually got
really?
better with their shaders and everything. This is just plain. Yeah, I don't know. I guess in my head, I just added colors. I just made it fancier. Nah, man.
But that might actually
Illusion
be a
broken.
hint. Because why the hell else would they... I mean, I guess just because Shalador's a Nord, but I thought it was interesting that they'd bring something from Shalador back, and then it's in a realm that's not Ivea, and it's very purple. And there's more and more hints that Meridia's up to something. It's getting more and more overt.
I would love to get Shalador back into the story, honestly. So that's one thing.
Shalador on your side against Meridia with Mehrunes Dagon?
That would be lovely. But
So
I don't know.
I know it's a stretch, but the color scheme is there.
Yeah, the color scheme might just be that they got lazy. And they just wanted
Or
to
it
give
could
that
just be the
magic-y
Oblivion
vibes.
vibe. Yeah, it could just be the Oblivion slash, magic, as you put it, like a magic-y vibe.
But I would love to get Shalador back into the story, like, because we only got him during the Mage's quest, Mage's Guild storyline, and he was a great character. Sheogorath is obviously a great character. We have all these other characters like returning constantly, right? We get references. We are now getting the Bosmer from. We are now getting Evely, Sharp Arrow. Who else did we get? We got a whole bunch of like returning characters. I don't really remember. We got Darian back.
Who's probably not returning. But
Naryu's been around a couple times.
Yeah, Naryu's been around. We got all the companions back several times over, actually. So Shalador also making a return as a character, as an NPC in one of the storylines would be really, really fun because he's not dead. Well, I mean, he is dead, but his soul is always around because he managed to somehow just make it stick to Tamriel. And it would be fun to have Shalador back. It would be fun to have Sheogorath back too, but I don't think they will do that. Because knowing Sheogorath, he would really not care about Dagon, Moloch Ball, Meridia, none of those shenanigans, so...
Yeah. Ipso would likely be a side quest, just like it is in Elsewhere.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, when he goes all skooma cat, it's like... That's...
So yeah. We just want to fight Meridia as a crew, right. I guess.
So the moral of the story is that everybody wants to mess up Meridia.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
If we aren't fighting Meridia this time, the devs are like, we gave you a good guy Daedra. Why do you want to kill her so bad?
Because she is not good.
Break her legs.
She's even worse than some of the other, like, Daedra that are believed to be bad, like Hircine. Hircine is supernatural. He doesn't go around trying to take over Tamriel or murdering people. He's just like, well, strong is predator, weak is prey. You know, that's his whole deal. And then you have Meridia, who's had torture chambers across entire Tamriel in her name by Alates. Like, just because she is light doesn't mean she's not bad. So, yeah.
Plus, there's this, Daedric Prince that I'm sure you've never heard me talk about, Hermaeus Mora, who, just saying...
Like, who's also pretty neutral. He's like...
Yeah, hyper-neutral.
Yeah, it's just
books. Look, man, just collecting knowledge here.
Yeah. Just knowing everyone's
He just has the scary librarians.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, God. Those might be the worst things to fight in Skyrim. Like, holy hell.
I hate them.
Fighting dragons, cultists, other characters, bosses, bears. Now, those mind flayers.
Seeker polymorph when?
Ugh. Those were rough. So, I guess that's about it. Anyone have any other theories that you want to add?
No, I kind of like some of the tangents that went on. That was there's definitely potential there. So be curious to see how off base we actually are.
Yeah.
Although I still will never. I mean, we were definitely much more correct, even though it got there through just tragedy. With the going into elsewhere, where we actually hit some of the things, then we were not super on point with most of Greymore.
We did guess where Greymore was going to be, though.
Yeah,
I remember saying it was going to be in Solitude.
Yeah. I was going to say you actually after the video, you pretty much nailed down the exact area of the map you were staring in the direction of. So
I was standing at Mount Kilgrave. I was at the shrine to Meridia whenever I took that picture. So I like to say that I guessed that one pretty clearly.
Yep. So it's like, I don't know. There's definitely potential here. Or we're completely off base and this has nothing to do with anything in Daedra.
You know what? We'll think we are off base this chapter as well, and the next chapter as well, and the next chapter as well. And on the 10th year of ESO's anniversary, everything we said will come true, and we'll be like, yes!
We were just so ahead of the game.
Episode 500.
So go back 4 years to episode 260, and you'll realize that we knew exactly the plot. Perfect. That's the long game right there.
Yeah. And then we are instantly hired by Bethesda as writers. There you go. This is our way into Bethesda. This is how we do it.
Yep.
Just playing the long game.
Heard it here, everybody. This is our long game, exactly.
I actually pitched, so the ZeniMax Online Studios is actually at the moment looking for a writer, senior writer.
I saw that.
Yeah, and Layman retweeted that on Twitter, and I pitched my, truth about how Guars are evil.
Oh,
as,
I saw this thread.
Yeah, so I basically told Layman about how evil Guars are as my writing portfolio, and I'm pretty sure Layman doesn't like me anymore.
Oh no.
As well, he should not, because you're a monster. I told you.
He was like, you're a shark. And then someone suggested that tinfoil hats should become an in-game item as well. So which I think so too. So that it would protect people from the mind control rays of the Guar and stop them from making everyone believe that they are cute animals. But yeah.
And this is where we cut Ark's feed and we just put like a happy little Guar gif just dancing in place.
Luna in chat just made a super try. So when Molak Ball said there are worse masters than me, he was mentioning the Guars.
Yes.
You are correct,
there you
Luna. Go. You are correct. He was talking about the Guars all along.
All I can picture is Ark feverishly like, my god, it is the Guars, like when he says that. I knew it!
It all makes sense now. See? Another mystery solved. There you go.
Ta-da!
Alright. How tired are you guys? We are 2 hours, 20 minutes in. We haven't touched Tales. Do you want to touch Tales, or do you want to wrap it up for this week on the theories and everything, notes, and perhaps record again after global reveal event?
I'm doing my best to not fall asleep.
Yeah, I saw you yawning. That's why I'm asking.
I can't stop yawning. I keep like moving my position to keep myself awake so I don't fall asleep again. Doing my best here. My son woke me up at 5 a.m. I went to bed at 1 a.m. So it was just going to be a struggle bus no matter what time we stopped. So I'll stick it out as long as you guys need me to. If I start to nap, just yell at me.
Well, then why don't you go first? Later.
Okay.
So I was going to say, why doesn't she go first so that it's easier for her anyways? Because to be fair, I don't actually have all that much.
Except
The
that's
majority
Mine are
Spire.
pretty short too.
Yeah, I was going to say, the majority of mine is just Battle Spire. And that was literally only 2 hours long, so it's just going to be like her refrigerator rant, except me ranting about a game from 1998 or whatever.
All right then, Pixie, take us through your tales.
All right. So we didn't have a show last week, but my highlight of low light, I suppose, of last week was we were back in Vet Moongrave Fane hard mode. We were like, we've got it this time. It's gonna be fine. I have upgraded my staff. We understand how the mechanics work. We got really close the last time. We've got this. And we did have it. We got it down to 0.3%, is what Kiz said. On my screen, it just said 0%. We had about 73k health left.
Oof.
And then we all died. And it just went downhill from there. Then we got it to like 4% the pull after that. And then we got more and more tired. So it just was a whole lot of bad.
What
And
killed you
tonight-
at that last moment?
I think an ad got loose and nuked Kiz, and I died before all of that. Like, so Kiz was about ready to execute, and an ad got loose and killed Kiz, and then Lego couldn't get any of us up before he died.
Yeah, at that phase, rezzing is, there's blood blobs all around. People are chained to things. It's a mess of a fight.
Yeah, so I think me and Bard died because we like couldn't get, whenever we were chained, we couldn't like get to the thing fast enough, and it killed us because it like had us all crisscrossed and we had to run really fast across the room. We just didn't make it in time. And then Kiz was gonna handle it for us, and then there was a loose ad that took Kiz out too quick before Lego could grab him. It was just so. Apparently, I went down at 3 or 4%, says Kiz. So I made it most of the time. But yeah, at the end there, it just got real struggle bussy. Then the next poll, we got him down to 4%. So we're like, all right, we're still consistently getting him to execute. And it just kind of like, the numbers kept going up from there as we got more and more tired. Kind of like what always happens to us in Castle Thorn, where like our first couple polls are the best. And then from there, it's just... we're very tired now because this takes an hour per poll, pretty much. And so we went back in there tonight, and we didn't have our prog group. It was Kiz and Bard still, but we had Zan with us, and Kiz was actually tanking. And we were just trying to get gear, but one of the last polls, we decided to just try to do hard mode just for shits and giggles. And that didn't go as well. We just kind of immediately died. And it was just kind of hilarious, the difference between like running it with people that you run with every single week, that you've learned the mechanics together and all of that, versus let's just give it a shot. And it makes a world of difference for sure. But we ran that dungeon like 2 or 3, I think it was twice tonight. And that's including like the hard mode poll and everything. The main thing that I did of note this week was getting back into Oblivion. So I've mentioned it like earlier in the show today and on previous episodes that I have played some Oblivion, but not a ton. So like I've never done the Dark Brotherhood quest. I've never finished the main quest, etc. Pretty much all I've done in Oblivion was the Mages Guild quests. I've pretty much finished those. Like I became Archmage or whatever. So I've seen most of that content, but everything else is just kind of, I haven't done it. Because of the Gates of Oblivion hype coming up, I actually started a new playthrough, and I streamed that last night. And it took me a little while to remember the controls. I remembered my love of being able to do alchemy anywhere. That should just always be a thing. Like in Skyrim even, you have to go find an alchemy table.
Yeah.
Well, it's really nice to just carry your little mortar and pestle around and use that. I did run into one kind of hilarious bug. So I wanted to get into Dark Brotherhood as soon as possible. And I remembered that in order to start the Dark Brotherhood quest, you have to kill an innocent person and then sleep in a bed.
Yep.
So I was outside of Skingrad, and there was this dude who was just kind of standing outside the stable. And I was like, there's no way this dude... I know you can accidentally kill, like, important people in this game. Like, there's no way this dude's, like, a quest giver or important at all. So I attacked him. Somebody then came and started helping me attack this random civilian. And then it got to the point where the dude I was trying to attack is just running around while this other dude is killing him for me. I don't think I landed the killing blow. So I did get in trouble for assault, but I didn't get in trouble for assault immediately. So I actually, after I killed the guy with my friend who decided to just hop in, I went up to a guard and the guard was smiling at me. It was just totally cool with what just happened. So it was like, sweet. I literally got away with murder. Didn't really go as planned. I don't know if it counted as a kill, but I need to level up anyway, so I'm just going to go stay in an inn and hopefully I start this Dark Brotherhood quest. I did not start the Dark Brotherhood quest. I did get to level up, but whenever I woke up, I was greeted by a guard in my bedroom who then took me to jail. Well, I said I was going to pay the fine. He's like, well, you got to come with me to the castle. As soon as I walk out of the castle, there's a conjurer right there who summons a scamp and immediately kills me. And I was like, what the hell did I do to you, Mr. Conjurer? I did absolutely nothing. I've talked to like 5 people in this whole game because I just started an hour ago. So what is your malfunction? And I even like summoned my own scamp, my buddy Frederick. Like I couldn't like do anything about the situation. He just murdered me. So then whenever it reloaded, it was right before I went to bed. So I slept again, but I slept for less time. There was now no guard. I was like, all right, this is already working out better. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to Leyawiin. Because that was really the main goal for the stream, was to make it to Leyawiin, because we have that theory that we're going to end up in Leyawiin and Bravil. So I start running towards Leyawiin, end up with a deer that takes an arrow up the butt and just running straight past me because this archer dude is randomly trying to shoot me. Again, I didn't do anything to him. He's just wants to kill me. So that was an interesting sight. I get to Leyawiin and I walk up to the guard to ask for directions. At this point, no guard has accosted me. I'm way far away from Skingrad. This guard then takes me to jail. I'm like,
oh, I love Oblivion so much.
What the hell did I even do? And it was hysterical. I will say, like, I also had a horse who resigned himself to his fate. So I went to Waynon Priory. First off, I was just like, I'm going to start off with the main story, then we're going to go see Leyawiin. So I get to Waynon Priory, and I talk to the dude who gives you the free horse if you ask for assistance. So I get the pretty paint horse, and whenever I get off to collect some flowers, because I'm going to be honest, the majority of my Oblivion stream was me picking flowers, and which is how the majority of my Skyrim playthroughs go. So I get off the horse to try to pick some flowers. I notice the horse is trying to head home to Waynon Priory. So then I started picking flowers from on horseback, which is a really cool mechanic that they should have left in Skyrim, where you don't have to get off your horse to do everything. So I had started just staying on the horse. But then I started getting attacked by, I don't remember if it was a spider or a wolf. I was getting attacked by something, so I got off the horse to try to, like, take care of the problem. But then the enemy, I think it was a spider, got underneath the horse. I tried to catch, no, it was a skeever. That's what it was. Tried to catch the skeever on fire because I decided I was going to, as an Altmer, use nothing but only magic and staffs. So,
great! In Oblivion, that definitely works amazingly.
I mean, so the playthrough that I had that was about 20 hours, I actually did just that, and I was fine. Like, I was OP by the time I finished the Mages Guild quest. Mm-hmm. So it's a struggle for a while, and I do the same thing in Skyrim. It's a struggle for a while, and then it's not hard anymore. So it's definitely just the beginning of the game that's
get
difficult.
Into enchanting, though, 100%. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
because in the long run, the problem becomes that the things that you summon as a mage one-shot you with their AoE spells in Oblivion.
What?
Yeah. Like, you can summon liches, which is great. They one-shot everything alongside you, because they have these massive AoE spells that cover an entire room that you are also in. So you summon them, they fire, everything dies, including you.
Ouch. So I never got that far. I was never able to summon a lich. But, so I was trying to protect my horse. At this point, that was under attack from a skeever. The skeever is under the horse. I launch a fireball at it. The horse catches on fire. At which point, chat named my horse for me. It was Cole, short for collateral damage.
Oh my
God.
So we had Frederick the Scamp and Cole the horse, collateral damage. And we just got up to all sorts of trouble. But there were so many things I liked about it. So I mentioned the alchemy anywhere and the being able to loot off the back of the horse and everything without getting down. But the fact that there are these priories that are just really pretty. And the overall landscape is just absolutely gorgeous. Even as such an old game, still looking at it and just remembering how old the game is, it is gorgeous. So yeah, you have a potato face, but these lush green forests are just so pretty. And there's also, like, you have the lush green forest in the center, but up near Bruma, you have all that snow. You have swamp down in Leowin. You have beach near Anvil. So you just have this diversity of terrain that you don't see in Skyrim. So Skyrim is visually more pleasing to the eye, but Oblivion has this kind of varied terrain that is something that I really appreciate as a gamer. I like being able to see warm areas and now cold areas, depending on what I'm wanting to do, instead of just something that's kind of monotonous.
That's actually
Skyrim. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so that's actually one of the reasons why people were upset with Cyrodiil in ESO, because they got rid of all the lush, like, trees and forests and jungles. So I mean, it's a performance issue, but yeah, it's Oblivion, Cyrodiil Oblivion is amazing.
I'm hoping to see a little bit more of it with the new expansion. So if we go up to Skingrad, there was a forest leading up to Skingrad. I don't think we're going to Skingrad, at least not for the main expansion. I think it's going to be that stretch of land in southern Cyrodiil that is... Because Bravel and Leowin are actually pretty close on that map.
Yep.
So I think it's going to be that strip. So I think we're going to have the marshy jungle to, like, more central forested area. And I think it's so far removed from the war that we're not going to have as much deforestation that we see in central Cyrodiil.
Hopefully.
So I'm hoping that we get the more lush forest feel that we were kind of missing. That being said, like, the main forest, I think, is, like, just north of the Imperial City, if I'm remembering right. So I'm not sure how much, because I'm really big on forests and all of that. That's kind of the motif I like the most, which is why I wanted to be Aldmeri Dominion so bad whenever I first got the game. It was not so much for the High Elves, it was more for, I want to go to Vardenfell. Not Vardenfell, wow, Valenwood. Sorry, I got the V words mixed up. I wanted to go to Valenwood and see all the giant trees and the jungles and all that.
You could have been a Bosmer for that.
Yep.
I made a Bosmer at some point. Did I? Have I made a Bosmer? I have every intention of making a Bosmer at some point. I just haven't yet. But, I mean, I made a High Elf whenever I started because, again, I wanted to be a Sork at that point, a Mag Sork. So it made sense to go High Elf whenever I started the game, just from passive's point of view. But, yeah, so
Makes me sad.
I'm really looking forward to playing more Oblivion. So Pylon stopped by the stream, and Pylon is also from UESP, is also playing through Oblivion for the same reason I am. And he gave me the tip to switch spacebar and E, those button bindings, so that way they match ESO. Because in Oblivion, space bar is activate, and I think E was jump, but I need E to be activate
weird.
and space bar to be jump.
Yeah, Oblivion is odd.
Yeah, I was
Don't get me
struggling with the
started on weird
controls.
controls yet.
That's actually a really good segue. But I was struggling because every time I kept trying to jump and just could not jump. And then another thing that I couldn't figure out how to do until somebody in chat just told me was how to drop things from my inventory. Because the helpful hints thing that tells you, like, you drop things by your inventory by holding shift and clicking on the item didn't pop up until, like, the 4th time I was over encumbered. So I just had to kind of figure some shit out until then. And the way around it that I had is if I was looting something, I would open back up the thing that I was looting and then just, like, deposit all of my stuff onto them. Because that was just switching to my own items and clicking on it. But if there was one point where I was literally stuck, I could not move, and there was nothing that I could deposit my stuff onto. I was just like, well, I'm not moving anymore until somebody helps me. Because I also had the game, it was right before the stream, it crashed on me because I alt-tabbed out for too long. And I had to run it in full screen because there was no borderless windowed. There was just regular windowed, and that was going to drive me nuts. So that was kind of something I was avoiding, was the fact that it was going to close itself and crash on me. So I was just like, please somebody Google this so I don't have to break my game to figure it out.
Also,
So
you
is it a
mentioned
consistent thing?
Huh?
Is that a consistent thing if you do that? Like, it will do that, like, each time?
No, so it only happened the time I did it for like 5-10 minutes.
Okay.
But I didn't want to test it while I was live so much.
Sure.
Like, if it was just me just chilling and I wanted to, like, pull up a Twitch stream or something, it'd be different. But whenever I was live, I was like, I don't really want to have to deal with trying to relaunch this and get back in game and all that. I'm just going to have somebody Google for me.
So actually, by the way, you mentioned Priories and Vainem Priory. You can find Vainem Priory in Cyrodiil in ESO as well. It's one of the PvE quest areas. Well, not quest area, but there are like PvE quests there.
Yeah, there's a monk there or something.
Yeah, there are monks. I think there are moth priests.
I need to go.
Yeah, there's like
there's
temple
dailies.
folks and everything like that. They have some dailies. You can actually visit it, and it's a nice little patch. And you sometimes get ganked by Daggerfall because it's close to their zone. But yeah,
I'm gonna have to go.
Yeah, that used to be our RP hub actually in the middle of Cyrodiil. Back when I was playing in North America with the role playing community, that's where we used to RP, and a lot of people would just like leave us alone. It was pretty nice. And when they didn't, we just nuked them because we had some. we were crowded in there, and like large groups didn't come there anywhere. But most of the time, people just would leave us alone, and yeah, that was nice. So I want to leave Lotus's Tales for last because Battlespire. that's gonna be a fun note to end to. So I'm just gonna, yeah. So we regrouped as the Untaunted, and we are throwing ourselves at the dungeons again. And we thought, because Pixie has been struggling with it for so long, we decided that it would be fun, especially for me, to start with Castletorn hard mode, so I could, finish it before Pixie and brag about it.
How'd that go?
Didn't go as planned. We didn't finish it. So
it's what you get.
We got it to execute every single time. Every single time. We got it down to like 15%. 20,
it gets
15.
So crazy and execute, and it shouldn't be. Like, it's basically the same thing, but that added effect of the CC fear from those blood portals, it just, everything goes out the window.
It's so chaotic, and as soon as someone dies, that's it. There's no recovering from it because
pray you have a necro res.
Yeah. It's like, it's insane. So we got it down to, I believe. So Ugo said the lowest he saw was like 7.6% or something like that. So we got it down pretty low, and then we vibed. We didn't have too much time. I think we tried for like 2 to 3 hours. So this Monday we'll return and we'll definitely clearing it. I believe, because I put together a new build just for this. So with the help of, again, the Untaunted, I finally got a full set of Arcasis and Imperium. So it's Arcasis 5-piece is active on one bar, and Imperium is active on the other bar. Actually, no, not at the wait, is it? Well, something like that. I don't know. So I went for 4-piece plus 2-piece, something like that. I put together something here. So my plan is that Imperium, along with my own damage shields, will constantly provide big amounts of damage shields to the group. So if they fall out of the circle, because the circle is unpredictable, it's like you dodge roll to a direction and bam, the circle just goes the other way and suddenly you're outside the circle. And other than the tank, no one can really take that damage of the bat swarm. It's like 1 second in it and you are melting away instantly. I feel like I'm the only one who can take it because I run very high health tanks. I generally roll with like 45k health plus damage shields. So I have Imperium, which drops like 15k damage shields to the group every seconds. Every 12 seconds, there you go.
Yeah.
I have my Ignis shields, I have my Bone Wall, and then I have my Barrier, which I'll be dropping a lot more because I also have Arcasis Genius, which gives, every time I use a potion, it gives me and 3 group members 44 ultimate. So that means between Luna and myself, we should be able to drop Barrier left and right in that execute phase. And our DPS might be able to drop their execute ultimates left and right because of the extra added ultimate. Because I'm planning on crafting some very low cooldown potions, like a default, just stamina potion. So that way I can, if I'm not in a pinch, I could just spam it and keep getting ultimates that way.
You could also, if you want to get real wacky with it, you could also put that potion cooldown enchant on your jewelry.
I have it on 1. It reduces
okay,
it for
you've got
like
it on
4
1
seconds.
because
Yeah.
you could probably and then become an Argonian so that it does more.
So there is a 30-second cooldown on Arcasis itself. So if you drop it, yeah. So you can't like, hey, I dropped my potion cooldown to 15 seconds.
And I'm just guzzling them.
No,
I've just got a beer bong of these things going into my face. Yeah.
So there's a 30-second cooldown. But as Luna and Chat just said, next time, easy, no death. Monday, we are clearing this. Tuesday, we are watching the global reveal event. And next time we do Tails, I am annoying Pixie with it.
I see. The gauntlet has been officially thrown down.
So Kiz is still in chat. Please, Kiz. Let's figure out a time when we can get me, you, Bard, and Lego together and crush this before Ark does.
I have the time zone advantage. Even if we do it on Monday evening, my Monday evening is 8 hours ahead of you.
Wait, but wouldn't that mean she has an advantage because it would be farther in the past?
No.
So she could lie and just say she did. It's like, hey, I did it back on this date.
Oh. No, but when I mean, yeah. If she clears it within like 7 hours, she can actually say that, yeah.
Yeah, she would have to beat it within the 7 hour period.
Yeah.
It's made a time paradox.
Then she's like, technically, she cleared it before me because...
Because it would be back in time.
Yeah. But when she can play, like when we can play, she'll still be at
8:30.
work. So if she gets a group together on Monday evening, we will have already cleared it because our Monday evening is before Pixie's Monday evening because we are further in the future. So
Bad thing is, I think I have plans Monday. No, I don't have plans Monday.
See, you clearing it on Monday evening doesn't help you because I will have already cleared it.
I mean, ultimately, I cleared Lair of Marsalok hard mode before you. And you can't take that away from me.
Yeah, but
So
I cleared
at most
everything
you
else
could-
before you.
You can just
Will you guys please
fuck
just
right
get the
off.
Challenger and Frostvault?
Look, man, you are not included on this, okay?
No, we all know you're better than we are, Lucas.
You are not included in this competition. It's not fun because there's nothing in the game that you haven't cleared it yet.
Ark and I are the ones that need mechanics spoon-fed to us, so let us have the competition that is really whose group can lead us to victory first.
All
Like,
left
if
out
we
and
include
shit.
you on this, we lose on PvE and PvP on every dungeon and content possible immediately. You have over 40k achievement points. There's nothing in the game that you haven't done yet.
We know you're the most elite player among us here. Listen,
The only
Lotus,
thing
I have a
we
proposition for you.
can possibly compete is the new dungeons when they release.
Yeah. When we get our new dungeon,
Because
we
I'm
can all
pretty
have a
sure you will be
opening
busy
fight
with your
on them.
trials because of your current like super advanced trial guilds and everything like
I
that.
know.
And while they keep you busy doing like no that hard mode speedrun +3 cloud rest, I can go clear the dungeons and then I'll have cleared those dungeons before you. So
But I'll clear them before you do, Ark. Just like I cleared Castlethorn before you did the first time.
wait,
I
you didn't clear Castle. What do you mean Castle?
Not the hard mode. I cleared Castlethorn, just vet. I did Stone Garden and Castlethorn before you did.
On vet?
So I remember watching you. Yeah, I
I
remember
cleared
watching
them
you
on
play it.
veteran. Well, Castlethorn I did with Pugs on launch day, I think. Stone Garden
Yeah,
probably because
so-
I didn't do Stone Garden.
Yeah, I was gonna say Thorn was the one you did with Pugs because that one non-hard mode that place is very
Yeah.
manageable. Actually, non-hard mode both of those places are very manageable.
So that day I did like a 6-hour stream, so I actually cleared them
Right.
earlier than you.
Yeah, but normal veteran doesn't mean anything because it's easy.
Shh.
we
Just give me
we don't
this,
even acknowledge
please.
normal veteran anymore.
No.
Lotus will find a spare 2 hours to knock out both hard modes real quick, I'm sure.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I would
Listen,
not be
Lotus.
surprised.
I need you to come to PCNA on your tune that you already have and carry me through Castlethorn hard mode so I don't have
Just
to
real
lose.
quick.
Wow. Way to trust your tank, Pixie.
I
If
do
I
very
just-
much trust
if-
Lego.
If I
but
had
Lotus
just
can do all rolls
if I
in
had
his
just
tank.
heard that, I wouldn't tank for Pixie until at least Tuesday. Just saying.
No, what I'm saying is
What a specific sign.
Lotus can do my job for me. So
I can
he
heal
runs
tank.
without he runs without healers all the time. So I'm just it's just going to be
So
a carry.
Lego, Kiz, Bard, and Lotus clears the Castlethorn hard mode. Then I don't see how you get credit for this.
We kick someone right at the execute phase and she jumps in.
There we go. Yes, exactly. That's exactly what happens.
All right.
I likely won't even be able to play on Monday if I had to guess. I might be able to sneak in there, but I don't know if everybody else is also available. So you,
I don't know. I'm getting this before
I'm just
you.
gonna have to root
I'm
against
hell bent
you.
on getting this before you. I mean,
I
once
still
we
got
get
the Lair of Marsalok hard mode.
I
so you can
sort
only
of
tease me
convinced
so
everyone,
much.
I think, the entire Untaunted, into suffering all of this again without add-ons, so I can brag to Lotus as well. But at the moment, because I'm clearing these with add-ons that help me, I can't throw it in the face of Lotus, but yeah. I'll have to re-clear all of this once we are done through the entire dungeon content in the game.
Still did Lair of Marsalok before you. Still did it. Can't take that win from me.
That one
We'll just
brings
be
me
tied.
Didn't we
My
do it
favorite.
Well, we did
Yeah,
it on
you-
the
you
same
did it on
show.
the same- yeah, it was on the
but-
same show.
Yeah.
I did it the evening before you.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, we cleared Moongrave Fane hard mode in 2 tries, so...
So, my favorite part of all of this is the Lair of Marsalok comment, which can bring me straight into my tales. because we just got our 5th person their Guardian of the Green title.
Oh my god.
Which would be the challenger of Speedrun No Death Hard mode in
So-
Lair of Marsalok.
So
Just for
Luna,
being this good at this game? Is
so
that just a thing
Luna,
we can
Luna
do?
is in chat. When are we suffering speedrun no death of Lair of Marcellus?
And the thing is, so like the one that, granted, the healer that got her title, she's an incredible healer on her own, right? But in one of the runs, we keep missing the trifecta by one of them. We'll either do it speedrun and no death, but then we won't activate the hard mode because we were just doing it quick. And we're like, oh, we probably should have activated that and see if we could get it to work. Or we'll do the hard mode, no one will die, and then we're like, why didn't we rush? Like, what were we doing? Like, we could have just done this. So, yeah, we still haven't gotten the trifecta, but we did get another person, their Guardian of the Green title, which I love that title. That is super cool. Hopefully I'll be able to do all 3 at once at one point, because, man, my DPS are real good at running that place. Real good. The other thing we did, as well as Guardian of the Green, besides losing my voice, was whatever the not trifecta, but the challenger for Unhallowed Grave. Shout out to same healer, Kate. She got that as well, so managed to polish off 2 of her challenger thing. That hard mode is interesting. I know you've done Unhallowed hard mode, right?
Yes.
Ark, yeah. Have you done it yet, Pixie?
Mm-mm. I haven't tried it.
It's
just
Well, I tried
wait,
it.
which one? Moongrave or
once
Moonhunter
on-
Keep?
Unhallowed. The one with the
Unhallowed.
big
Unhallowed.
skeleton.
Yes, yeah, we got
with the
Unhallowed,
big
yeah.
skeleton, and you get the mega
I'm really trying
uppercut that's really horrifying when you first start tanking, because it does so much damage.
Yeah, when I first tried Unhallowed Grave hard mode was with Ophelia and Drunkenborns. I died every time like the first 3 seconds. And then we were like, yeah, let's not do this because people didn't have that much time. And when we went in there with our current Untaunted group, I was again dying to things that I don't understand because I didn't see anything. I would just die. Then I took a different strategy. I put 3 of my damage shields in my rotation, never blocked, just heavy attacked, and used damage shields constantly. And that worked out. I didn't die. Because...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you get the hang of it, it's super doable. But like the shell shock of first being in there, it's like, oh my god, even his light attacks do like 30,000 damage. It's like, what is happening? But yeah, so other than that, it's been the ESO Plus event, and I've been doing surveys. I can't suggest doing this enough to people. If you don't usually have ESO Plus, do your surveys and then refine your survey trash, because it will all go in your craft bag and then you don't have to pay attention to it later, and it makes your life so much simpler. So now is the time to do that. And I really don't have a lot of use for the most of the time, but since I have a craft bag and I don't have to pay attention to inventory, I have been running all of my characters that I have. I've just been running through their writs, usually while watching TV with my wife or something like that, just on like my SharePlay laptop. So lots of stuff with that. And then I just made a lot of money because, much like you, Ark, from selling off your AP, I found a person who's building a guild hall and they needed a tunable craft station. So I made $3 million selling a tunable craft station. I have no writ vouchers left. I sold them all.
I never
But
had
it was
writ
worth
vouchers because I never did master writs.
Yeah, see, I do a lot of master writs, but then don't do anything with them. So I made a lot of money getting rid of those, but now if I actually have anything I want, I can't buy it because I spent them all. Which brings me to the thing that we've alluded to. And the other tale that I have, and I started Battlespire. The very old Elder Scrolls game. This is the actual box for it. I've got it next to me.
Wait,
Oh,
you
that
had the
looks cool.
box as well? Where the hell did you
I
find
have
that?
Oh, I have. Okay, so this is gonna for anybody who is the collector's type. So this is the actual game itself. I have a physical version of Battlespire.
I know you had
more rare-
Arena.
I do. I have every game in their original boxes.
Oh.
And after finding this on eBay, I actually have the incredibly rare strategy guide to it as well,
Wow, dude.
is freakishly rare to anybody who collects this stuff. And I haven't used the strategy guide to look up anything because I am still trying to do it blind. But yeah, I do have the version, and it's it is a rough experience to start with. How can I explain Battlespire concisely and try to not get too carried away with swearing? Battlespire has really awesome music. Everything else is a living nightmare. This game has some of the worst controls I've ever tried to use. You were there when it was explaining to use your plus cursor to highlight items. We were like, what the hell is a plus cursor? So this is what a plus cursor apparently is, and how I've deciphered how this works is you move around with the it'd be like your D-pad. It's your directional buttons. You move around with that, and then you look around with the mouse. So it's a little more advanced than Arena, where it was press right or left to turn right or left. Well, this one has a fully interactive mouse to spin your face around like a modern game. Except you can't interact with anything when you do that. You have to hold the enter button to bring up a cursor that puts a Daedra Crescent, the weapon, over the side of the cursor. That for then you can still look around with the mouse. Nothing has changed, except now you have this fucking cursor, and now you can interact with items. Why the extra step? Why can't I just click on the item? Like, I don't understand. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Luckily, everybody was nice enough, and I ran the vote on Twitter, and because the community is nice to me, and I appreciate you, all of you who didn't vote Altmer, I get to be a Dunmer in this game. So
which are worse than Altmer.
I gave myself a porn stash and a mullet, and Ark tastefully put my face over it in that still frame, which was quite amazing. I don't know. So I'm a battle mage is the class I chose because the game told me. Oh, I guess I should rewind just slightly. I tried to make my character and the game froze. Like 4 minutes in, trying to make a character, I froze the game. So after rebooting the game, I then made my character. And I made a battle mage because the game told me if you are new and bad, play a battle mage or a spell sword because it's easier. And I'm like, cool, that's probably going to classify as me. So I did. And then I started looking through the myriad of choices you have in the game. And I gave myself health regeneration because that sounded good. And not sure if this was a critical fail on my part, But I do know that the weapons and stuff degrade in this game, and there are no, like, merchants. You don't buy stuff. You don't sleep, which is, I guess, a good change from Arena, where all I did was try to sleep and get mauled. You just play it like a dungeon crawler is what I've understood from the game. And since the things break, I figured, why don't I be a spell monk? And I'll just fist fight people, because if I make myself good at fist fighting, I don't care if my weapons break, because unless I break my knuckles, I'm fine. I'm not sure that was a good idea, because fist fighting seems very bad. I spent a lot of time just whiffing, because it's got like so you don't just hit because you swing at something. You can miss. And I just sat there, and you don't use both hands. You just uppercut with like one hand. It's just over and over again. And I just sat there fighting these scamps who are very chatty and just like missing just hundreds and hundreds of times.
The scamps in Battlespire talk.
A lot.
And they have this squeaky Harry Potter elf voice.
So, terrible combat aside, or at least my terrible combat aside, because I can't hit the broadside of a barn, everything talks. Just all of it. Everything's very chatty. And the scamps talk, and they type their dialogues, and my character is a snarky asshole for some reason.
That's
like
fun.
you get 3 options, like not much snark, super snark, and just like, okay, you're just being a jerk. Like, so I usually go with like somewhere in the snark level. But the scamps, like, they type out, like, so you can read it, obviously, what they're saying. And it's grammatically a mess. Like, there's just random capital letters in the middle of words and things like that. I'm like, who typed this? So I don't know if it's meant to be their inflection or something, but their voices are horrible, and they're obnoxious. But I did make one of them my friend, and then forgot he was my friend, and then punched him to death. So that didn't help me. You can,
what
like,
did you do to Frederick the Scamp?
I forgot that he was my friend, so I was like, ooh, this scamp's coming right at me, and it was walking toward me because it was following me, so I started uppercutting it, and I was like, oh wait, that's the one that's on my team. So I stopped. He wasn't dead, but I clearly wounded him because another scamp came over and like one-shotted my scamp, and I was like, no, my scamp. So that didn't go great. Let's see, what other tragedy? Oh, so just to give you a quick synopsis here so that this doesn't go on too long. This stream was about 2 hours long, including the character creation. I'm still on the first floor of the battle. I didn't even make it anywhere. I thought I found a door and my character just died. I don't know. I walked up to it. I was like, oh, this light has a sigil. And I just, you get an FMV. And the FMV just immediately says, what is it? Good news, you're alive. And I was like, that's kind of weird. And it's doing this like old school FMV, like panoramic of this skeleton in a prison cell. And it's like, good news, you're alive. Bad news, you're trapped down in the cells of the Battlespire while Dagon's minions assault the keep. Bad news also, you starve to death, never finding another person to talk to for the rest of your life. I was like, well, then that negates step 1 of good news, I'm alive, because part 3 was I'm dead. Like, what kind of like description is that? But
I love these games.
The only I don't. There's a lot of items that I'm picking up that I don't know what they do yet. Like, there's literally Daedric letter Ds just floating around constantly. And they do things, sort of, if you collect them, I guess. I don't really know, but I just keep picking them up. Health. So in Arena, your health was the green bar and your stamina was the red bar, which was very confusing. In this game, your health is a blue bar,
Oh my god.
and your magicka is a yellow bar.
What?
Because why
And
not?
there is no stamina bar at all.
I guess it
So-
took them
Wow.
like 10 years of testing until they settled down on blue is magicka, red is health, green is stamina. Unless,
So-
actually, no, wait. In Morrowind, yellow is stamina.
Oh, is it?
I think so.
I thought it was green.
I think in Morrowind it's
I'm gonna
blue
look.
magicka, yellow stamina, and red health.
Well, and then there was that weird period where they were like, they didn't call it stamina. Sometimes they called it fatigue, which was a
Oh
little
yeah,
weird.
yeah, it was fatigue.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's the
that,
thing in Oblivion.
yeah, so it's fatigue, and they've recently changed it to stamina. Okay, fair enough. Now, if that all sounds reasonable and logical, great. I'm glad for you. Here's what gets weird about Battlespire. Your health isn't called health. You don't have hit points. You have wounds. What kind of status name is wounds? I assumed at first that I was like, wounds? I was like, so is this like, I thought it was a status detriment you could apply to yourself for bonus points. And I was like, oh man, my wounds are way too high. This seems bad. No, I was removing my hit points, thinking I was
no.
helping myself. That's awful. Don't call your health wounds. Terrible, terrible naming.
So I did double check, and in Morrowind they did finally settle on green.
Okay,
for
they did
stamina.
settle on green.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. So I've leveled up a lot of individual skills. Like, I don't seem to be getting experience in this game. But, like, using the skill seems to level up the skill kind of like it does later down the line. So I don't know if maybe that's where around this started, or maybe it was in Daggerfall. But, like, the more I punch things, the more my hand-to-hand goes up. But also I have this thing called critical strike that goes up. So I'm like, that's a category? Okay, that's fine. And then by getting slapped in the face, somebody pointed out the fact that my dodging went up, which I thought was strange because I failed dodging to get my dodging to level up, which is weird, but all right. And yeah, I have kind of straight stats across the board. I don't think I'm great at anything or terrible at anything except using weapons because I can only fist fight. But yeah, the only real thing that I've discovered other than what we've talked about is the fact that you're capable of talking to, we mentioned that scamps talk.
Mhm.
You can talk to anything in this game, which is weird so far, including the Vishai or whatever.
I thought you were about to say the sheep whenever you started with the sh sound. And I was like, wait,
Wait.
what?
You know, give it time. It's probably going to happen. So one of the clans that it's referred to, I found one of their creatures, and it's this hulking thing, and it's got like no face. It kind of looks like an anteater, I guess. And I decided to try to talk to that too, and I did. And its response was just "Hrrg," and it's just like HNNNNRHHG whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, that's quite a word. And you could make a threat to it. You could like try to convince it to not attack you, or you could literally respond with the exact same word that it made to
Oh
you,
my god.
which I thought was pretty amazing. And apparently, whatever that means was very insulting because it attacked me and beat the shit out of me, killing me instantly. So I would not suggest responding with Hrrg to somebody who says Hrrg. It's apparently
That
an
does
insult.
not mean hello.
It does not. So if anything in the Gates of Oblivion says something like that, do not respond in kind. It's not good. But all of that is pretty much my impressions upon starting the game. I can't really give you more than that because that was 2 hours of me just trying to figure out what I was doing. I died a few times. I missed a lot of attacks. The map is pretty good. It's very detailed. That's a positive thing. So music and map, those are good things. Yeah, that should pretty much cover
Honestly,
the good things.
Just the amount of text that game had, like the tooltip tutorial texts, was
overwhelming. When the game was telling me, like, I clicked on one thing. It was hard to explain. Like, at first, I thought the game froze because there was just, like, walls of text hitting me. And I'm like, nothing's even happening. Oh, I need to progress this? Oh, okay. And I would click it. And the tutorial would be another wall of text. It was like, oh my God, this is like a novel to try to figure out how to play this. So, yeah, I'm not really sure how this is going to go. The controls are blisteringly hard to control. When I was looking around in them, we found some bizarre things, one of which I have no idea if this is going to be. There is a button for mount and dismount vehicle.
Oh yeah, I'm really curious about what the hell that's.
Don't know what that is.
Vehicles?
Don't know what that's about. Is a horse a vehicle? Like, I don't. Would you classify a horse as a vehicle? But yeah, I don't. I don't know.
Chariot?
I have. Oh, all right. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm just a ride around on Dagon's shoulders. My end goal of this, besides beating this, is hopefully finding out some weird little tidbit that only people who played Battlespire know about Gates of Oblivion. There's some like goofy nod or something, because there was a ton of them from Arena. They've even got one from Shadowkey with a pickpocketable item. There's got to be something from here, especially with the strong connection to Dagon. So fingers crossed that I learn how to play this game better and I can discover something cool for us to actually discuss and learn about going forward. But that largely remains to be seen, because if session 1 is any indication of what I'm up against, I have no idea how long this game is, but yikes. Progression is slow.
Yeah. Also, Avatar in chat made a very good point about hit points being called wounds.
So is it a tabletop thing?
Yes. So in a lot of tabletop games, your miniatures have so many wounds they can take, like in Warhammer and 40k, which
so it's
I'm
like
familiar
wounds
with.
you can
and it didn't occur to me until he mentioned it, but so in Warhammer, I played 40k, not the tabletop like miniature version,
Sure.
but the tabletop settings like D&D, but for Warhammer. And yes, they are called wounds. And yeah, during those times, tabletop terminology, it would sort of make sense that they would called wounds. But having them as hit points in a game, yeah,
that's interesting though. So it's like wounds taken as opposed to
not
hit
really,
points you
but
have.
wounds you can still take.
Wounds you can sustain, right? Yeah, that's what I should say. But
so that's why it's good to have them high. But when you don't specify this, it really doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but that's interesting though that there's like a context to it, because that's some of the thing is learning the context to it. Like, I'm not a D&D. I did not realize for quite a while when I played through Arena that I wanted my armor class to be negative to be good, not positive.
Oh,
so, yes, you wanted a negative armor class. Apparently I was told that the old system of D&D used a negative armor class rating.
Oh.
So it was based on that. Not a positive armor class rating. Now, throw that out the window, because actually in this game, it's a positive armor class rating and not a negative. So now I need to unlearn what I learned from Arena for this game, because now I want my numbers to go up, not down. But so either way, that's interesting for context for that. And like thinking back on Arena, yes, okay, that was rough to get into and died a million zillion times. There is some degree of fun doing this with a group of people. I'm really hoping that I'm just not remembering how brutal it was to get going in Arena, because this control scheme somehow feels worse.
I was very surprised to find that out, yeah.
Yeah, this feels worse. So I don't know. I've also heard this one is a little less forgiving. So again, a lot remains to be seen with this game, but hopefully I end up having an overall entertaining experience despite my constant abuse, which I know is everybody else's favorite part.
I don't know, man. I don't know how it's going for you, but it is definitely going amazingly for us.
Yeah,
Yes.
we had... I was shocked by the amount of people who wanted to watch Battlespire that stream. That was... Let's just say that I was given the information that for everybody who showed up on that stream, in that stream, we had more people at once than have streamed Battlespire, period, in the last registered month.
I mean, does it surprise you, though?
No, but, well, kind of. Why would it? But, well, yeah, I guess everybody's gotten accustomed to watching this. And shout out, because it's just a single thing, and it does, stream gives you, like, their summary things. Had that been, say, my standard of, like, oh, this many people watch these streams that I do, I was basically at partner status from a game from 1998, which I was like, well, that's interesting. Granted, it's just one stream. That's not, any, but I was just like, oh my God, there's like 70 plus people watching one person scream at a keyboard because I can't figure out how to pick up an item.
I mean, those are the best streams. It is
so
what
I
it is.
appreciate everybody who hangs out with me on these things. It does make them much more entertaining, and I'm glad they're amusing to watch as I can't figure out how to do much of anything. But yeah, so hopefully by next show I'll beat level 1. I have no idea how many levels are in this game at all. Because it's not open world. It's level based, from what I understand.
There's a fourth floor to this shithole?
Oh. Yep, and then there's that. But yeah, so those are my tragedy tales. We'll see how Battlespire goes next time.
We'll see indeed. On that note, I guess we should wrap it up because we are slowly losing Pixie again. So Lotus, where can people find you, and any final thoughts?
You can find me over at Twitter at LotusOfDoom, and I've been streaming not regularly by any means, especially by people who are responsible enough to keep streaming schedules, but more frequently over at LotusOfDoom. So if you want to watch my normal ESO stuff or the tragedy of me playing these older games poorly, I am Lotus of Doom over on Twitch as well.
There you go. And Sleepy Pixie.
You can find me over on Twitch at HyperPixie Gaming and on Twitter at HyperPixie Games, but I should probably rename myself at some point because I can't just stay awake. So I'm hyper sometimes, I promise.
Yeah, Sleepy Pixie.
Just not
Gaming.
at 2 a.m.
Her hyper bar goes down throughout the show because it is nearing at this point 2 a.m.
Yeah, it's almost 2.
I just expend all the energy at once and then I fall asleep.
Well, you can find me. I'm Arkaniir. You can find me anywhere that is Arkaniir, ARKHANIIR. That's a made-up name, so if you see it, that should be me. And for the show and Dungeon Crawler Network, you can find everything we do over at dungeoncrawlernetwork.com. There you can find links to all of our social media, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Discord, other Twitter accounts for our other shows, possibly more links, Instagram that I always forget to post to. Be sure to check out our Patreon as well over at patreon.com/Dungeon Network. If you want to help support the show, I'm also getting tired apparently. And you can consider leaving us a 5-star review on iTunes so people know that we are a real podcast, that we say real words, and sometimes it matters, and we will read them on the show. Thank you all so very much for joining us on this episode of Tales of Tamriel, and we will catch you all next week. Have a great night, everyone, and see you all in the global reveal event on 26th.
Have a great night, everybody.
Akatosh slew Lorcan, he ripped his heart right out. He hurled it across Tamriel, and the heart was heard to shout, red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. The laughing heart sprayed blood afar, a gout on Seer it fell, and like a dart shot to its mark down in an alien well. Magicka fused the Lorcan blood to crystal red and strong. Then wild elves cut and polished it down to Chimel at a ball. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. When elves lost Nirn to men, Akatosh gave the stone to Saint Alesh in token of her right to sit the throne. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. Red diamond, protect us till